Heroism doesn't always happen in a burst of glory. Sometimes small triumphs and large hearts change the course of history. Mary Roach. I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. James A. Baldwin. Two amazing quotes that kind of fits the gentleman we're here today. This is the Inspired Poetry Corner. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're well wherever you are on this planet. Thank you for joining us today for the Inspired Poetry Corner. A monthly recital that happens on the third Sunday of each month. Is not an open mic, so the poets that are here to recite in support of our feature. And today, this month, for the month of November, we have an amazing feature. But before we get to this amazing human, amazing man, how are you guys doing? How's life? Are you living well? Are you in good spirits? Are you happy to be above ground? Because I am. Because if I wasn't, we'd be having a whole different conversation. So anyway, I hope you're real good spirits, enjoying wherever you are. Like I said on Sunday, it's a bit of a cold fall day here in Toronto. So, but I enjoy these types of days. I love the fall. The fall is actually my favorite time of year. So I love what it represents. I love the idea of the harvest coming in and being grateful and preparing for the winter to come. So anyway, I'm going to just leave it at that because I want this young man to have as much time as possible. And I'm also looking forward to interviewing him. So, and I know many of you are here for that. So let's just dive into this. The Inspired Poetry Corner gets to this month's spotlight. Charles Daniel Perry Jr., artistically known as C.P. Mays. He has an amazing story worthy of the history books. He's a decorated Marine Corps veteran, SIPFI, with a heart full of muse, a mind storm of the Marine Corps' memories, and an artistic repertoire as well trained and mature as the Marines smoldering inside. Rankings of third and fourth in the world for performance poetry. His honesty, identity, and creativity has been encoded with that of an outlaw. Currently, he's a student at the University of Houston, Go Cougars, the creative writing poetry program. CP is determined to leave our world better than we were given it. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Miss Angie and I would love to welcome and present to you the one and only C.P. Mays. Unmute and give him a big IPC welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Lovely, wonderful. Ooh, yeah, embrace.
Right.
Embrace.
This is about to be a journey. We're about to have some fun. That's the only thing I can promise you.
Word up.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, it's going to be up. This is going to be too much fun. So brainstorms, watch me, because I love the rush. Stop trying to blow out the trick candles in my opera house. Stop with the I need to stop with my stop sign smile. Stop speeding through school zones of my childish maze. Stop road raging against self-love, saying I'm tired of you questioning my intentions. Stop tailgating your washed up wishes with dirty dishes in karma's kitchen sink. Stop leaving all of your filthy forgive me fucked up past dirty laundry in her washing machine mouth. Stop straight jackets and boxer briefs from keeping you from bumping your pride inside her padded walls. Stop taking your straight jacket joints into pawn shops just to see how much an honest hug is worth. I am shitty tap water 4 seconds away from being turned into wine. I'ma choke back words chased with a shot or swallow someone else's pride or water into wine, angry alcoholic drunk, angel picking slippy fist fights with other religious gods. I am a really, really good reason, y'all, to buy your pastor's cocktails at strip clubs that specialize in all nude revelations. Hey, let me borrow a buck, beautiful. I need to pay my low self-esteem to do something better with this life. A hardly sober lifetime, screaming and mixing at the ones and twos in heaven to play my favorite love song. My favorite love song, y'all. It sounds like the filament in the flock of fireflies all being turned on at once. My favorite love song was written by Mother Mary and produced by Mary Magdalene. My favorite love song, when sung in Spanish, is entitled Hijo de Puta. My tunnel lights are all sponsored by the forgotten faces from all the women I should have loved. Curtain calling up fight or flight from exes to ex-wife to exes. Kick rocks when you exit stage right. Too much mouth to mouth in the suffocating is why I packed up all of my good breaths and left me finding solutions to my drinking problems, left my drinking problems with stronger drinking problems, left my focus focused on I can give a fuck about what you thinking problems, from tip jaw to tip jaw, living lonely, hold me closely, leftover love me land handles, holding closed caption coping mechanisms too tight, please heighten my sixth sense. Don't let me fall in love with someone else's Achilles heel tonight. Disobedient, even in the face of death. Definitively defiant. I don't play with a pull deck. Knowing Grim Reapers by their nicknames is how I showed them signs of respect. You hijo de puta. Poem. So this journey we're about to go on, shout outs to the teachers that help, nurture this craft and the rawness or whatever that's become my voice, and help nurture it and not beat the 2025 out of me. You know what I'm saying? Some poets can get their new style they're messing with kind of beat out of them. So I appreciate all the teachers and that help nourish mine, because it's a lot to handle. So let's have some fun. One of my newer pieces I'm uber excited about. It's called Checkmate in 3 Moves. And I am the keeper of concrete. I am fuck it, Father God. Let me force feed karma Ambien so she'll really have reasons to deep sleep on me. I am that I am, and I am. I swear, my sometimes soul seems to somehow stay several snooze button seconds away from scribbling rough draft suicide notes on the back of my very own birth certificate. I swear, you can't keep guilt tripping me into believing you're God. I swear, I am the kid with the cracked halo and duct tape. I swear, I am Sylvia Plath and Kurt Cobain's love child. I swear I am almost as ignorant as an overprivileged sonnet, counting how many black, gay, and Latino friends it has. I swear our God emoji looks just like Trump. I am a vasectomies wondering why a nation full of dickheads haven't lost their reproductive rights. I swear when I say 90% grind, 10% grind harder. I'm saying I planted more man-made miracles, metaphors, and mustard seeds in the ground than Alabama did niggas and cotton. I swear I am wondering right now if all the times you said the word nigga and didn't reprimand your own self for offending your own sum of some sorted, contorted, fucking ignoring, reprimand your own self-esteem, some contorted, fucking ignoring your fragile sensibilities, all of them under the guise of I swear. If they can say it to each other, so why then I can't say it too? You're my nigger too, I swear. Insert note here, Maze. Something about guilt tripping. Juxtapose it with something to do about systemic racism, guilt tripping. Never recognizing their ignorances. Stay running off at the mouth. Running through our economy. Running through our coast-to-coast histories. Cross-country pimping. Running through with their shaded white pride. Capitalism, guilt slipping. Praising their American proud history, pimping, tripping, I swear, with untied shoes, I swear, black folks aren't poor by choice. I'm saying, I swear they're poor by design. I'm saying, when God left to go to work this morning, he, she, they, them left their back doors unlocked. I'm saying, who's coming in praying, dear lowercase letter gods? I'ma need you to put your big girl panties and big boy drawers on down here. Some of us are juggling chainsaws, I swear. I am the keeper of concrete, I swear. I am the Marine Corps killer kid with the cracked halo and duct tape, I swear. I am of concrete, I swear. Cracked halo and duct tape, I swear. I am poem, or whatever that is. Yes, I like that one a lot. So yeah, what do y'all need to know? A lot of things that shape me in my writing. Living the duality and having to code switch to survive, you know, be in the all smart classes, IQ styles, and all that other whatever bullshit, and then coming home and people are dying next to you. You know, I have to learn how to code switch to exist in both worlds. And once I started learning how to juggle that, it fused into the fabric of who I became. And it just comes out in my writing. So, this is in lieu of Veterans Day that just passed. Badge me into beautiful. May the soda pressure pop fizz forever, my friend. The world was never meant to be flat. Jam as much dirty laundry as you can inside the man's machine and watch the top 1% come clean. I grabbed your tongue by its hand, proceeded to Sunday stroll it around a secluded smile until a pet peeve and the peculiar fuck you robbed me. So I pleaded with all of the could-haves not to bury me with the rest of her never could-have-beens. You put in the work. Hope it pays off. Tell yourself that he really didn't mean it. Remind your broken lampshade language and flying saucer diction is the only broken slang love speech she ever learned. So you work. Tell yourself I deserve better than I don't really deserve. Pick a drug of choice. Chase it with the laps you run around yourself. Cardiac Iraq the track marks and stay sprinting away from yourself with that runner's high. Fuck complaining. If you never learn to walk in another man's shoes, try handicapping in another man's wheelchair for a day. Gather up all the grit you can muster and tried walking a mile in another man's crutches. I've just tried both. Believe me, it's nothing to brag about. The nicotine in my lungs can co-sign that. The numb, never minds, not only willing to step on another man's head to get ahead, are often quicker to cut off a wheelchair in rush hour traffic. All of us who had the same shuffle, forearm pistons, passerby head nods, passerby wrist games wave to each other, race and gender make up different makes and models, all runway bruise, spoke knuckles and overcome. I smell like sweat, sympathy, and do I deserve some? The only other that can stare you straight into the face-to-face of it all rides and strollers, y'all. And I'm sure that's a fucking metaphor and all that shit somewhere, but right now I'm emotionally crushed and I can't seem to navigate my way around it. My appointment was for 11:30. And I checked in at 11:28. It's almost 11:50, and I'm in the Veteran Affairs Psych Ward. 15 minutes passed. A deathly disturbed silence filled the room. 24 or so veterans knowing something that the rest of the world doesn't know, something that few in the rest of the world can grasp, grip, or hold on to. If the brain doesn't want to, this world is truly fucked up. And no one can truly embrace it, let alone truly care, unless somebody, cavity, can turn a great prophet. The next doctor walks in, gently vibrates a name into the room until heads turning make eye contact with the rest of Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines waiting for psychiatric meds to bingo their cachet. There are walkers and wheelchairs parallel parked all around the room. A young granddaughter of a toothless Vietnam vet asked her mother, who decide to join this forgotten field trip of, am I innocent? This forgotten heartfelt question. She points her tiny little fingers and says, is he a soldier, mommy? The sigh of silence, it fills the room again. I look up from writing this and notice another dawn of vets have formed the line at the check-in window. It's 30 minutes past my appointment time. So it's time for me to rejoin that line and check in again. This is my life. This is my life on days like this. Support your veterans. Like, no matter what happens, I don't care how you feel about the war or what side you claim. Like, support your veterans. So, yeah, there's that. Let's see. I have this thing about love where I feel like you can't truly love someone unless you hate something about them about that much, something real minute. Like maybe you don't like the fact that he doesn't put on lotion when he gets out the shower, or he doesn't like the fact there are clipped toenails in random spots around the house. Like he doesn't wash the dishes when he's done cooking. It's always something weird. So I don't write these full-blown I love you poems. It may be some of these kind of sort of this much, and this is why I love you poems. And this is one of those poems. Whew. Yeah, let's have fun. The wind was blowing tell me you love me's across the promise me you'll never forget. These are not birthmarks, darling. Heaven just left hickey marks at the nape of my neck. Tender satin scarf French kiss of fine art flesh, the street lights were eavesdropping on our halos. The street lights were wondering why, the skyline was wondering why I can't seem to hold eye contact with constellations anymore. I was palm wandering across the universe of untangle me breakdowns. I just want God to give me shortcuts on side streets or better highway directions on how to find my way back to his house again. You beautiful, you snuck out of his house again. Breathe in the scent of our swirling rose petals, summer skin, candlelit lover spit all over my. Sometimes I just read you wrong, and I'm sorry for that. Sweetheart, my so sads are so sorry for my so often. I'm so often so sorries are so sorry for all of my so sorry for that. I'm sorry for how my hands maneuver around the curvature of your table of contents, body bookmarking my past mistakes, lost like looking around for the any next chapter. I'll be blessed by thee. Please let me be in the manuscripts of your dot. Finally frisky. Wishing dream well scented end of birthday sexy suit fit, a fragile firm fit wet angelic silhouette sweats of a miracle in your meteor shower mouth smile sexy is a dot. Please tell me if I'm worthy of another chapter to be written in, or written off, or written out, written down, or good written's now room. I flip the bird towards one of my fragile backbones. Realize the mirror's just a professional liar, and karma's just a blank check. Life is a who I can't keep wet. Gamble on yourself even if it's just a poker face bet. Sexy is, sweetheart, not me. Please, my catharsis is a comet's tail. I hitchhike through the galaxy of your grid on. Your mouth is a miracle heaven doesn't make anymore. Mi amore, your tongue has become a bully in the back of my throat. Your French kiss is a parole board freeing me from my bad convictions. Your thighs, two lips, a two-strike pitch. My tongue plans on hitting a home run through your hearts. A house. I've packed my bags and left from way too many times. The fever of your feminine sexy scripture sweats. My favorite across sensual skin nibbles. My favorite font. I want to dip all of my typeface into the narcotic liquid of your silhouette just to rewrite and edit myself back into the nape of your neck. Deep dive underwater wishing wells with you until I owe you every vowel in my breath. Hashtag respect. Hashtag I'm a fucking train wreck. Hashtag I love with no regret. Hashtag you are my no regret. Sexy. Sexy is an insult to the skin you wear. Oh. Whew. So, how much trouble can I make? How much time do I got left? He's just shaking his head.
Well, until midnight.
Until midnight.
No, you've already gone like 20 minutes, but man, I go 10. I don't care. I'm the one in charge of the show. So
Okay.
I don't think there's a person in this room that's going to object to you doing more.
All right. I think I'll definitely do one. And then you give me the head nods for maybe two. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for allowing me to be me. Like a new thing I'm on, I think it's going to be the name of one of my manuscripts is I'm the Marine Corps kid with the cracked halo and duct tape. Like these poems are my duct tape. It helps me kind of put shit back together when I need to feel like I'm holding together by these poems, you know? So like you guys are my duct tape for the day. So I appreciate y'all for bringing yourselves here. So it's gonna help make me feel all that much better knowing someone cared, you know? So here's a poem. How much further into the deep end can we go? Yeah, let's do that. Tell me forever, how the fuck am I supposed to pick up my pissed off past when it's passed out from picking fights with purgatory? Similes strung out, half hung over from half pints of hallelujahs. I was born in between broken bourbon bottles and busted out brake lights. My dreams are as wild as my sex drive. My nightmares are as horrific as an ego's eviction notice when your heart's too broken to cover the saint safety deposit box that futures the forever your soul will eventually lie in life's truly a bitch, but when she's out of my life, I know I'll miss her. Mirrors whisper, it's not your fault. It's mine behind my back. I'm not sorry that up until now I failed at dying. I am that karma keeps G-string stripping down to the French kiss of my own failure. I parade my soul around like it doesn't make nightly special guest appearances at pity parties hosted by myself. Like it doesn't stay up late playing liquor in the front, poker in the back, angry. It's the hospital I was born in. Devil, motherfuck you was the sport I was playing the first time I broke my arm. The second time I broke my angel's wing, it was in the same place. Everyone else was playing hide and go seek. I was playing Satan. Hide heaven and I'll go fucking fetch it too. My boogeyman sleeps with boy-cut shorts and has a backside that could raise the dead. She knows the seat of my soul is composed of sober love letters held together by drunken scotch on the rocks tape. The sound of sangria saying, where's your fucking pride maze rest? The sound of me sleeping peacefully next to some pussy is the only love song I haven't been able to memorize yet. It's the reason why I can count the number of women I love on one hand. Here, if you sniff it, you can smell them all at once. The branches, they smell like coffee. And I like my coffee. I like my coffee the same way I like my women. French press, steeping in heat till I'm ready to sip smooth, sip sexy right out of the sweet coffee. Like I like my women, destined to spill everywhere down my throat when things get bumpy. I like my coffee the same way I like my women, strong with a good shot of whiskey in them. And I like my whiskey the same way I like my one night stands, not too cheap, with an ego that's not too expensive. The leaves. My catharsis can clear out the church pews. Madman metaphor mumblings kept the demons from seeing me coming. So pardon me, pastor, but the scriptures in my pulse needs to stand up and testify. I've shit, shaved, showered, bathed, borrowed, and brokered brainstorms from Beelzebub, pitched tents and tenants because my rhetoric needed to cop rental property. Back to back hell and back to back too many times in one day in a line. last day was the goddamn day I stepped out of hell in the ground and my writing got fucking lighter. Hey, brah! Some fights I pick with myself, I lose on purpose for no other reason than maze. Fuck you. Hey, heartbeat. This isn't puppy love. It's a pit bull off its leash. It's an Ernest Hemingway quote. Never mistake motion for action. End quote. The forest for the trees. Lifetime. I've unraveled lifelines via virtues and sins, y'all. They say I'm an idiot savant with tattooed skin. I am Stephen Hawking with a pen. Oh, so yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's more than something like that.
Yes.
I want selfishly, I want another shot of coffee with some whiskey in it. So I'm gonna ask. I mean, that poem right there, that could have been your encore. But let's do an encore and your encore. Okay. I'm being serious, dude. I can listen to you all day.
Oh, appreciate that. Like, that really does mean a lot. Like, it really does mean a lot.
I could listen to you all day. I still remember the first time I heard you at the New Weekend Cafe, and I was like, who the hell is this brother? So, yeah.
You know?
Send us home with one more, man.
Okay. I've come to understand that I had some amazing things happen to me in the last 2 weeks. And a lot of it's really good. It's like the type of stuff that are spark healing in places you never thought healing could come from, right? Dealing with my military life. So I've been embracing a lot that came with it and letting it out to the world, because I think the world needs to be reminded sometimes that there are people out there doing these things, even though you don't see a war being broadcast on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So this is out for all those people I've served with. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. End quote. Plato. To find yourself, think for yourself. End quote. Socrates. Honorably discharged as a sergeant in the Marine Corps, I walked away with 2 rows of medals from serving 2 tours. Walked away with night terrors. I've earned all of the nightmares. I've walked away with no court martials. Could have easily re-enlisted, but I couldn't walk away from Michael Johnson's 2 murder trials. Walked away with sufferings from survivor's guilt, survivor syndrome, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, severe depressions, hypersensitivity to loud bangs. Cannot see. I suffer from hypervigilance, UCC. Hypervigilance, UCC. It's an enhanced state of sensory sensitivity accompanied by exaggerated intensity on behaviors whose purpose is to detect activity. So danger detect any and all activity from stranger, danger. Hypervigilance's intensity detects any and all activity moving, aka I am always at all times mind moving, am always at all times waiting for almost all assholes with their Billy Badass bravados to act out of character, because to protect my family, friends, and mine, I will and can kill everything in the room moving. Make no mistake, I'm no Billy Badass. But best believe I will bully bullies because most of these cowards that talk loud for the crowd, whether wrong or right, won't even bust a grape in a fucking fruit fight. Wise men talk because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. End quote. Plato. Mays breathed. Sometimes at night I can still hear the 46s, 53s, Hueys, Cobra, and Harrier engines spooling up. Probably the reasons why I sleep more comfortably under a blade-turning fan. During high-tempo flight operations on the flight deck, I was the Marine Corps killer kid with a cracked halo and the weather-beaten book of collection, Socrates and Plato ponderings in my right back pocket. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. End quote. Socrates. From Texas, one of my private first-class Marine stresses over a don't ask, don't tell policy that keeps him stressing over openly loving the officer in the Air Force he fell dog tag head over boots for, or the corporal who wanted out of the Corps so bad that he took all of his uniforms out to the middle of the flight deck, drenched them with lighter fluid, sat in the cloth folded out chair purchased from the PX and flipped zip fly. Torched his Alfies, Charlies, Camis, and dress blue uniforms, and to make things worse, he roasted marshmallows over his uniforms like they were just open flames, or the corporal from Louisiana who blew out his brains while his wife was still holding him, or the Lance Corporal during a Liberty port in either Greece or Italy got so hammered that he scaled the wall outside the club, backed up a few steps just to take off running at top roof, full speed launching himself over to the roof, crashing into the apartment, shattering the window in the next building, tumbling through. I can't imagine what the scream from the wife sounded like, or how many times their kids' daddy slammed that Lance Corporal's head against the ground until he passed out, or the staff sergeant who went down to the armory to check out his sidearm for cleaning, who loaded a magazine with rounds, placed the pistol in his mouth and attempted to blow his brains out, only to have the government-issued pistol cocked at an awkwardly placed angle, only to blow the side of his jaw, not his brains out. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. End quote. Plato, swallowing pain, pride, and purgatory, y'all. My stomach is a chemistry set where 19 pills per day keeps PTSD, survivor's guilt, survivor syndrome, severe depression, hypersensitivity, hypervigilance is at bay. My stomach is a combination safe where I can spin 3 white pills to the right, 4 pink pills to the left, 6 more pills back to the right, and poof, there goes warfare, combat, CP, maze, conflict, struggle, battle, fight, Marine Corps killer kid with the cracked halo, shooting shot glasses filled with the end of the tunnel light, like passions where I find my heaven on earth. Paradise, driving on fumes, turning nothing left, until I can still swerve my life back right, playing with the car wrecked full deck. As a preteen Jesus gene in these jaws of life easily for my Marine Corps brotherhood. For one or some to live gladly would have sacrificed my life. For my friends, family, and loved ones still willing to always sacrifice my life. Survivor syndrome sure ain't fucking wrong, but the shit sure ain't right. I could have easily lost my life. Like, listen, Lord, I'm not always ready to put up a good fight for God's light. But I'm getting there with every nightmare scare. I'm getting there. All right? Forsaken aftermath. I'm the fallout boy with no fear. For I'm an honest man's good fight. For only the dead have seen the end of war. End quote. Plato. I am still here, though. I am still here. Poem. Thank y'all.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've served my life right. You're definitely swerving right, brother.
I hope so. Unless yeah. It's gotta be. That's the only option.
CP, you might find this interesting. My late mother, who lived to be 84, I lost her in 2011. Okay, just to give you some time frame context. She grew up in Germany during the war, during World War II. And I remember that on a few occasions, including a few years before she transitioned, we would be sitting having coffee outdoors, just sipping coffee and talking, and you'd hear a fire truck siren or a police siren go by, and she was reminded of air raids at 80 years of age. She never got over that. She would hear a fire truck, and the first thing in her mind was bombers.
Right. It's
So when you read that in that poem, when you were talking about all those images, I was just flashing back, and it just smacked me in the face, man. Yeah, it really did. It's like you don't get over it. You somehow cope and move on, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to shut up now. But yeah, I just wanted to share that thought.
Yeah, thanks.
You can't imagine what you went through, man.
Exactly.
Nobody can. Nobody can.
I don't think anyone ever gets through any trauma that I know for a fact you don't. You learn how to look at it differently. You learn how to. So, but I think it's important for you, CP, to write. That's one of the first questions I want to ask you in this interview is, did you write poetry when you were in country?
Yes. Well, wait, define in country, because I spent most of my time on tours like outside of the state, so I wasn't like in country.
When I say in country, I mean in service, in war zones.
Yeah. I kept like we would get issued like these little pocket-sized green Bibles for one. Yeah. It was like just the Old Testament or New Testament, I can't remember it. Something that you could keep in your back pocket. So I found like I guess what is now the equivalent to like moleskins, the little books with the rubber band at the around the edge.
Yep.
And I just kept that in my back pocket. So wherever something would hit me, I would jot it down. Or if I couldn't write it down, I would just burn it into my memory.
Yeah.
And then I started building poems in my head. And then that became a whole nother thing. A whole nother thing. Yeah.
That last piece reminded me, I almost joined the Marines when I got out of high school in LA. I didn't, but my brother followed suit. Because he was, as we affectionately love to say, he was one of Uncle Sam's misguided children. USMC, right? I got that from my gunny. That last poem reminded me of my gunny, who I haven't thought of in a long time from my days in Hollywood. So that was a powerful piece. And, I wish we didn't have war, but I also understand the reality of our humanity. And I agree with you. I think anyone that chooses to put on a uniform to serve
Yeah. For whatever
Should
reason.
be, for whatever reason, should be treated well, because that's one of the problems that I have, is that we encourage these young men and women to serve,
Yeah. To
right?
do that
To be
country.
patriotic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then those that do go off to war and then come home, and then we kind of forget about them.
Yeah.
We treat them not very well. And this is not new. You can trace this way back probably to the Revolutionary War. I know grievances with soldiers that I've read started back in the Civil War. So this is not new. So as an ex-military person, how do you feel about your service now?
If it was 2 weeks ago, I would have a certain answer. But within the last 2 weeks, I've come across someone, I came across the path of someone who survived thanks to some operations we ran in the specific time frame overseas.
Wow.
And I bumped into this person and we kind of figured out like we were in this area at the same time type thing, you know? And this person tells me, you saved my life. If it wasn't for what you were doing, this is 20 years ago, bro. You saved my life. My child wouldn't be here. If this was 2 weeks ago, I would have a different answer. Right now, I'm trying to unfold how someone calls you a hero when you in your mind is trying to just barely hold together and you know motherfucking heroes. You know? Like it's so I don't know. Like right now I'm trying to unfold and figure out how I want to carry that now. Like,
well, I hope you carry it with honor, because it's not an honorable thing that you have to do. The way we use that word.
Yeah.
So I do hope you carry it with honor, because when remember the movie A Few Good Men?
Yeah. I didn't even see it until after I got out of boot camp was when I saw it. Everybody else knew the quotes.
Yeah, it's a powerful movie, and I don't know. We love to look at things in these little vacuums and not look at the whole picture. And the Jack Nicholson character on the stands talked about, because there was a Marine killed wrongfully, whatever the reason was. But he was killed because he was weak. And the Jack Nicholson character is going, you may not like me, but you better be happy I'm on that wall with a gun.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what your freedom cost. And most of us back here, out of country, because I say in country because my brother served as well. When you're in country, you're in war zone.
Yeah.
You're in war zone. You're in country. You're not in your country, in another country. We talked about that. And he goes, a lot of times we don't know what we're doing. We don't know how it affects people. We don't know. And more times than not, the negative is positioned.
Exactly. Yeah.
But for you to get a story like that,
oh my, like.
So I hope you wear it with honor, because I'm not the one standing on the wall.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not the one standing on the wall. You chose to stand on that wall. My brother chose to stand on that wall. My uncle chose to stand on that wall. I have a great grandfather that served in the war to end all wars, World War I. I wish to God we didn't need military. But I will always honor anyone that made the choice to put a uniform on.
Thank you. Not everybody's. Yeah.
And with this last election cycle and all the nonsense that's going on with race and all this stuff, we fail to realize someone fought for our freedoms to be able to do that. That's
do this. I want to shake the life up.
I chose purposefully that quote by James Baldwin. Let me read it again. I love the fact you use quotes from Aristotle and Socrates in your piece. I love America more than any other country in the world, and exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. That is our job as citizens of a so-called free world, is to challenge our government. Our government should fear us. We should never fear our government, because of people like you. So with all the nonsense and all the stuff people don't want to look at, you get to protest. You get to stand on a soapbox because somebody was willing to stand on a wall. So I honor you, brother.
Appreciate you.
So you are a junior, which I didn't know until I read your bio.
Yeah.
So who's Charles Daniel Perry Sr.?
My pops, the son of a gun. I'm a son of a gun. My pops he was a wonderful man. Like, he was the type that pulled me aside early on at like 8, 9 years old, because all he did was work construction or mowing lawns to pay bills, like, and pulled me aside at 8 or 9 years old, show me his hands, the calluses on his hands, and say, son, you're too smart. I don't ever want you to work with your hands. My pops was like, he was a dying breed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a man's man and sensitive enough to let my mom do what she had to do to be a woman. It was, yeah, I'm a Perry proud. Like, I'm proud.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about mom?
Mom's a pistol. Oh yeah, like the women Perrys in my family, I'm not the one you need to worry about. Worry about my sister and mom. Like, like if stuff gets really bad, you worry about my sister and my mom. Don't worry about me. They're gonna be the ones just tearing everything up like a Tasmanian devil. So, yeah, my mom, she's good. She's good.
They're not afraid to stand on the wall.
Oh no, not at all, not at all, not at all. The
So
fence.
you come by it honestly then.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find it hard being a black man? And again, I always feel I need to preface this. When I say black or even white, I don't mean race. But as a black man in America, do you find it conflicting? Or have you found yourself conflicted to serve a country like America? Because a lot of people, I am not one of these people that believe America is racist today or more racist than it was in the past. I understand. And that's the problem with a lot of people today. Everything needs to be tied up nicely in a bow. Everything needs to start off in this perfect mindset. And yet I look at America and all the things she's done in this world, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. Don't get me wrong, America's done a lot of shit.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of shit. Why? She's protecting her interests. People of power, that's what they do. But I'll tell you this. I don't know if I would like the world if America wasn't in it.
That's
so just wondering, as you as a black man, how do you feel?
I feel as if like there's some key things that need to be hammered out, that we need to target, like that we need to really put a laser focus on. Mm-hmm. And I'm smart enough to know that we can't fix one segment without attacking them all at once to make the infrastructure collapse. Of the racism, of the systemic racism, why women of color are dying on birthing tables more than any other, blah, 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 all of that. Like, there's fragments everywhere. And until we hit them all at once, like, we can cripple them. But bit by bit, we try to tackle issues and other ones get stronger. They nurture another one that's going to pop out like 8 months later. Mm-hmm. As a black man in a country serving his country, or who has served his country, I feel some kind of way when I come back and I know my uncle can't fill out an apartment application because he has to check a box that says, if have a felon, check here, but we can have a felon for a president. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that, it kind of gets to me. It gets to me in a really fun, funky little spot. Yeah. Because it makes me feel as if all the struggle to get me here, like, I mean, fuck the 400 and something years that took to get through all of that. To get the beginnings of what got me here right now. Like, all of that aside, holy fucking shit. We're still fighting over the same things we've been fighting for at 2 years old, at 4 years old. I don't want nobody to play with my toys 5 years old. We got juice boxes. I got a juice box. You call yours oil. I call mine oil. 7, 8 years old. Like, we're still fighting over these childish things. And as a black man, it's tiring. It's tiring to watch. Yeah.
I'm with you. It is tiring. For me, what's tiring is that when I listen to these narratives today, the pushing of narratives that are not necessarily based on facts, that's keeping us divided. whether people are lazy and don't want to do their own research, or more importantly, they're probably just too damn busy trying to survive.
Trying to survive. Yes, sir.
So they have to depend on sources to educate them. And the main source that educates our media has been corrupted for years. So there's a number of things you said that I don't agree with because I've done my research. But I understand why people hold those things. I understand it. And for me, the biggest thing is whether you agree with someone's viewpoint or not, can we talk? It's through talking, through empathetic listening.
Yeah.
I can only understand your viewpoint because you're only one experience of many experiences, right? So that's why I always find it interesting, because people have always said, how can a black man or a black woman put on a uniform to defend America? Well, because you're only looking at America through one lens, right? And because even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Twice a day, yes, sir. And them lenses we view our life by shapes our whole existence.
Yeah.
And then that shapes our kids' existence.
Exactly.
And it just keeps going and going, and it's a pendulum.
This is why, as much, like I said, not everything, because a lot of things you said I agree with. And the things that I don't agree with, I want to understand why don't I agree. Maybe I'm the one that doesn't have the right intel, but the only way you're going to do that is to sit down and talk with someone, and not ridicule them, and not shut down when you don't hear something you don't like. And I've seen that's been happening way too much over not just recent, it's been going on for a while now. So that's why I encourage you to keep writing. Like I said, I remember the first time you presented at Eureka, and then you were talking about a professor who told you couldn't do this or whatever. And I'm like, whoever the professors, you need to get them out of that university, because you're already doing it, number one. Number two, you're doing it so well, and you're just going to get better at it. You and I definitely need to go offline and talk, because I could talk to you all day.
All right.
But I'm going to do a quick word association with you.
Yeah.
So whatever I say, first thing that comes to your mind, blurt it out. I am.
Maze.
Poetry.
Tag.
Veteran.
Supernova.
Life.
Life.
Freedom.
Cost.
War.
Cost more.
Education.
Most costly.
It's funny how they all, Poets.
Victors.
Joy.
Fleeting.
Resilient.
Fleeting.
Love.
Dictionary.
CP Mays.
History books.
You are definitely walking history, my brother. You're a fine example of, for me, what it is to be human. The complexity and yet the simplicity of our humanity. You so exude that. You remind me of the character from the movie Soul. I don't know if you ever seen that animation called Soul. Yeah. You physically look like the character, but the character was searching for meaning because he died unexpectedly, and he had all these amazing things that was just happening to him, and then he died. And to some degree, the old CP had to die. Well, say CP, the Charles had to die to let this new Charles in. And I'm loving this Charles.
Right. I'm loving the crawl. I'm loving the crawl into a new me. Something about crawling into a new you.
Yeah.
Feels good. Feels healthy.
You have to be willing to let go of the old to let the new in.
Yeah.
And it's not letting go in the sense of forgetting the experiences. It's letting go the suffering of those experiences. You keep the experience because wisdom is attached to it.
Yeah.
You got a wealth of wisdom in you. I'm going to invite you to keep letting it out.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is so much of an interview or just two brothers talking, but either way, I so enjoy your presence. I'm going to end it this way, just real quick. What's your favorite sound?
The wind.
What about it?
It's just something that, like, I can't see you, but I feel you're there. Like love, sometimes I can't see love,
Mm,
but I feel love is there. You know, like it's something about I can't see what's coming, but you can feel it. You know, and
yeah,
that's what that it becomes that metaphor for me. The wind. It just,
yeah.
yeah.
Excuse me. What's your favorite word? Or do you have a favorite word?
Oh wow. Uh oh wow. Mary Magdalene. Pretty much that phrasing of Mother Mary, Mary
Okay.
Magdalene. So, yeah.
Last thing.
Yeah.
If God does
Uh-oh.
exist,
Uh-oh.
and when Mr. Perry gets to the pearly gate, what would you want God to say to you?
You did it our way.
Mm,
Not like anybody else. The plan that we had that we were supposed to do together, like you did the shit our way. Come on in. I got a beer in the freezer. Yeah.
I love that answer. And that answer inspired a thought, I think next year for the next for 2025, when I asked, because I asked that question to every feature. I'm going to start capturing it and then compiling it and putting it out.
That's dope. Yeah.
People's response to that. You and I have some work to do, my brother, so we're going to connect and talk. But I literally right now have goddess bumps all over me.
That's good, man. All right.
This was so in charged. You know, I feel like we just got blasted with truth bombs of jazz, like Miles Davis. Miles would be proud because your riff is like jazz. It goes all over, but yet it knows what it's doing. You know, Miles is jazz. There was no rhythm and flow to it. He just kind of riffed, right?
Yeah.
Yet, and he didn't believe in mistakes. Everything happened the way it was supposed to, and that's how your stuff is. So I'm so honored that you're a supporter of the Inspired Poetry Corner. You've also been here before to support others, but today, we get to feature and honor you, which is so worthy. Not just because you put on a uniform, not just because you're a poet, because I think you're just a brilliant human. You're a gentle, good man.
Thank you.
And I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to walk in this time, in this adventure with you. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for the words. No cold thank you. I don't like blowing smoke up people's rear. So everything you said, like it's really hitting home. Like, thank you. Thank you.
Worthy of that. Ladies and gentlemen, please unmute and show this brother some love. And then we'll get on to the next part of the show.
Woo.
That was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Incredible.
Oh,
On every word.
Awesome work. Awesome work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very powerful.
Blessing us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take it in, brother. Take it in. You're so worthy of it. You know?
I mean, look at this room. Like, look, everybody is tuned in. They're like laser on the screen. Everybody's here. Like, how often does that happen, you know?
Yeah. Well, when you got a powerful voice like this, you want to listen. You know, it's not just the creativity of how you present it, but it's the words, you know. Comma is a blank check, I believe is what I heard. The mirrored whispered, it's not your fault. Those are, you know, if you read, when you read the chat, I saw people pulling out, you know, Neil's really good at that, pulling out. Your words, just brilliant. So thank you so much. Thank you. I hope, how are you feeling right now, having just done that? How do you feel?
There's a movie called Talladega Nights with okay, so we know Talladega Nights, right?
Yeah.
So there's a part in Talladega Nights where he doesn't, like, he's getting interviewed and he doesn't know what to do with his hands. So like, that's how I feel right now. Like, I just don't know what to do with my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, the words are coming in and I'm trying to digest it. And all I can think about is, what I'm supposed to do with these hands. So that's how I feel right now.
That's hilarious, dude.
Uh,
You ever thought of doing stand-up?
I'm just being honest. Just being honest. So
we're praising him, and he's like, "What the hell do I do with these?"
but what do I don't know what to do with these. Yeah.
Well, figure out what to do with these. But while you do, sit back and enjoy. We've got a number of poets that are here today for you.
I can't wait.
You know, they're not ready for primetime poets that come to support the feature. Again, I always, preface not ready for primetime because you're all primetime. A number of you have been featured before. But I use that term because it's really about us, the ones that are reciting, to support the feature. And then not ready for primetime is simply a thing that I stole from Saturday Night Live when they were funny. They used to have the not ready for primetime players. So I always love that saying. So sit back and enjoy, because man, you took us on a cosmic roller coaster ride. That was just amazing. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue on to this portion now called, the Not Ready for Primetime Poets, where you get to share your words and and dazzle us with your brilliance. Remember, you have up to 5 minutes. I posted the list, but I will let people know who's coming up and then who's on the mic. Excuse me, guys. I have a bit of a tickle in my throat. So, and before we start this, and thank you, Marian, for reminding me. I did have this written down. We have in our presence a number of pushcart nominees, right? Which is high praise for poets. So we have Mona, Marianne herself, the General, Brian Franco, Suzanne West, who is not here. I hope she's feeling well, and Ian Mack, who's also not here. So, it's not like they're my poets, but I know they come here a lot. So I feel honored that a number of poets that I know, that I respect, have been nominated for Pushcart Award. So hopefully it works out in your favor. But the fact that you were recognized for your poetry, I think that's high praise as it is to be. So well done. And give them some love, reach out to them, give them a virtual hug, whatever you feel the need to do, but let them know that we appreciate them every day. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with highlighting people when they do something well.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. So it's tradition when we start off the Not Ready for Primetime performance that I call upon my friend from Greece, Alexandra, to start this round off. So we will do so. But today, Alexandra has a special guest, so I'd like to call to the mic Alexandra and Henry Lohman.
I just learned a whole lot of things about CP that I didn't know. And I owe him a long poem from Bottoms Up. So I'm not going to comment on any of the, war, political, and all that, because that's a huge, huge conversation. But my son was a parachutist in Crete as well. Flying 19. It might be too untimely yet to dismantle the veils. Even so, I can see an all-pervading phlogiston in these little flowers, acclimatizing the seeds in our gardens to Olympian soils and seasons. Even so, in this dense temporal spin, outer circles burning to materialize harmoniously. Even so, in this crystalline spatial spin, inner circles burning to be exteriorized by homopsychia. Shifting personalities from misguided, disheartened to demiurgical, enkindled. Hephaestian octahedrons, outshining illusory miasma into raised psyche volumes. Master alchemizing positive electric sparks, magnetically captivating gold vortices. Hierophants reverently conducting Verhatic heat interxutonal lines, spinning a crescenting blossomed mounts and fiery triplicity, spinning a crescenting personal progress and self-ascension, even so. It might be too hasty yet to visit other lands. Even so, I can walk on this earth's plains and in lucid blue yonders, interpaving third-dimensional existence to multidimensionality. Even so, in this wild, raging, cacatopic realm, onto poetics hearkening to chant monophysitism. Even so, in this archetypal, inviolable world, logos hearkening to be imprinted by diaphysitism, fine-tuning into relationships from unfulfilling, compromising to hypostatic aura blending, psychometric rhythms metronoming are sevenfold distilled ambrosial affection, marrying age-old scars and ordeals into epicatastasis, superseding disturbances and divergencies of the lower planes by spheroidal oneness, whirling, connecting across kingdoms and finer keynotes, whirling, connecting spoken communication and cosmogonic collision, even so. Might be too eager yet to decrypt enigmatic teachings. Even so, I can distinguish a ubiquitous methexis, wafting ageless wisdom, amalgamating windward archaic elevations with muteric knowledge. Even so, in this heterogeneous amphibolic gyration, pathos featuring to behold platonic forms. Even so, in this homogeneous diaphanous gyration, panpsychism venturing to be encompassed within commonplace perceptibility, reconciling societies from austere dissenting to cultivated pluralistic, sky streaming alien-born prognostications into amphictyonic cuts, polyeulogized rhapsodies refluxing between matter and turquoise ether, wisely guided elementals speeding the arrow through the alpha to the kingdom, gyrating, incarnating, aerial syntheses and group awareness, gyrating, incarnating, historical solidarity and earth service. Even so, it might be too exceptional yet to epitomize Gnostic truths. So you can swim in pan-Hellenic waves ebbing into the shiny white, melding the foam's mystical highlight into the enfilade deep shiver. Even so in this despotic, sophistic spiral, cultures musing to cultivate metaphysical idealism. Even so, in this heliacal coronal spiral, Pansophy musing to be validated by epistemological idealism, advancing governments from dysfunctional, distrustful to serviceable, trustworthy, allying fluid intuitiveness with directed precision, dialectically reaching impersonal judgments and ethics, equilibrating tides reaching apotheotic crests, where opposites blend and profit, spiraling, celebrating primeval waters and eos, spiraling, celebrating apocryphal ideations and helionations. Even so, it might be too thaumaturgical as of yet to respond to the supreme rays matrix. Even so, we can fly away from scotophobatactic gorges towards true phototactic catchments, awaiting the inevitable victory of the grand recreation. Even so.
Wow. Hey, Henry, is that a mandolin or what is that instrument?
It's alto balalaika. I built it about a month ago.
Can you hold that up again, sir, please? I just want to. You built that.
Yes.
Beautiful sound. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I've heard you and Alexander before. I think early on in my Zoom career, I heard you with her, and I always loved the blend. But this was maybe it's because I haven't heard it in a while. This was very mesmerizing, very capturing. I mean, her words and her graphics does that. But so I've always told her, because before, I've heard her with you and then with her husband. And when neither one you could make it, she was concerned. I go, no, your stuff can stand on its own. But then when you add a layer like what you've just did, that takes it to a whole new stratosphere.
I hope it came across. I was really trying to play very quietly. I don't know if you guys heard it, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, definitely. Maybe, because Alexandra speaks a little softly, but I know it's a good mix. It works well. There's good synergy between what you bring and then, with her graphics and her words. So well done. Good to hear you again. Thank you for that. And Alexandra, my gosh, that's why I said never apologize if you've never written anything new and you have to go back to the old flying series or the beginning. It's amazing. And then just the progression of growth from the time I've known you to now is amazing. So
I am writing something new, but it's
I know you
taking
are.
months.
I know. But that's okay. We will patiently wait.
Yeah.
We will patiently.
It sounded different today with Henry. It was perfect, Henry. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, balalaika looks really beautiful.
You guys should definitely put out not a book, but definitely put out a recording, an album or something, because it's a beautiful. They complement, like his playing complement doesn't take away. It complements it very well, very well. So well done.
I first asked Henry to accompany me when I heard his balalaika.
Well, the first time I heard him was with you at I believe it was David's show, Spoken Word Online. And that was my first exposure, and I enjoyed it then. I really enjoyed. Henry, you're always welcome to come here, and you don't need to play for her. You can just play on your own, and I know you also have your own words, so feel free to come.
I was just going to say that this one is an improved build over my last one. I gifted my last one, and I was very happy with it, but this one passed the orchestra test. In other words, it was more audible as an acoustic instrument.
Yeah.
It is. I have taken some radical approaches to building it. Some radical design changes, but I felt that they addressed issues that I was having with other instruments, and I was able to improve on them. I'm going to use them in a performance with the orchestra next weekend.
Oh, wow.
And I rejoined the orchestra, so I'm in their rhythm section. So anyway, let me shut up now. There's
no, it's all good. Thanks for sharing. No, it gives us, it gives us some more insight into why you do what you do and you're building it. And I would love to hear it without the buffer of technology, but just even through this medium, it sounds really good. It's rich, right? It kind of grabs, it grabs your attention. So.
Yeah, I have a Bandcamp recording, actually a few of them, but there's one that features this particular instrument that I posted actually within the last month. I think it was like 3.5 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's a brand new one. Got another one planned too. Anyway.
Well, if you have any links, put it in the chat, and I'll definitely jump on your Facebook page and take a listen because I enjoyed that. So thank you so much, appreciate it, and thank you for your insights. So. All right, so we have waiting in the wings, Artemis, and up next is my partner in crime, the woman that helps me run the Inspired Poetry Corner, and the co-host of Above the Noise, Miss Sanji. The mic is yours.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Mr. CP, hats off to you, my brother. You got it. The title of my poem is Wake Up. This is radio coming to you from the deepest depths of your gray matter. This is Wake Up Radio, nudging you to wake up your mind. Wake up your consciousness. Stop sleepwalking. The world is in an exceptionally disastrous state. Time is of the essence. Implosion is inevitable. Wake up. Can't you see? Lies are flying around like trash in the wind. Deceit is running rapid. The magicians are hard at work and the sleight at hand. With their sleight of hand. The illusionists are using their technical mental suggestive methods. Smoke and mirrors are everywhere. Wake up your senses. The government is the antichrist. The politicians are the magicians using smoke and mirrors everywhere. The media are the illusionists with their suggestive measures. They make you believe what they want. The media is an antichrist. Wake up. The antichrist is knocking at your brain's door. Everybody must wake up. This is Wake Up Radio, signing off. Brain necrosis has setting in. Wake Up Brain Radio, fade into black. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, bringing the truth bombs on a Sunday morning, Ange. Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
Getting all riled up before you go to church now.
Yep, and I'm fixing to have to sign off. Everybody have a great Sunday.
You enjoy. Have a good service. Thanks for
Thanks.
being
Bye. Bye-bye.
All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Her cousin, Artemis. We've, I think maybe hopefully we've got you hooked on this performing poetry thing. So
I'm here, Artemis. I'm not leaving till you get.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Hi, everybody. You gonna stay for me or you gonna leave?
Girl, you know I ain't gonna leave you.
Thank you.
We're first cousins, everybody.
What I'd like to say to CP is I appreciate your voice. You spoke straight to my heart. I grew up in a military family. My father he served in Korea, and I had 4 baby brothers that were in the Navy at the same time. So I feel some kind of way. But the poem I'm going to read, it is a step away from my church roots. I kind of, want to dabble doing something else. So I wrote this piece called Unprotected. How did I let myself get tangled in your love trap? I promised myself never again to embrace the flame from this love crap. The heat from your eyes holds a promise that this encounter will be more than just sex. Like a moth, I'm drawn as one under a witch's hex. The sound of your smooth talk sends my heart into pitter-patter, throbbing in my chest. Of all my previous encounters, I anticipate you will be my best. Your breath whispers against my skin, igniting long forgotten passion, stoking the fire that burns between my thighs, daring my body to remember as unbridled sighs escape my lips at the touch of your scorching fingertips. You shattered my walls and left my body and soul bare, then walked out the door without a care. 9 months have passed and I've experienced the worst pain of my life as I travail to bring forth a new life. Our love encounter sadly did not end as I expected. Now I must live with the consequences of having sex unprotected. In peace.
Powerful piece, my friend. Well done. I love the vulnerability in your poetry.
Say that again.
I love the vulnerability in your poetry.
Oh, thank you.
And the truth that it unravels. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I got to take my own advice. I got to watch how long I talk with you guys, because there's so much you could say about everyone's pieces, right? But from brilliance to brilliance. So before we call on the next poet, I just want to let Richard Harris, you're on the mic, so just hold on a second. Neil, Maddie, Jennifer, and Vale, you guys are the next five. I'll be calling you in recording. But up next, Mr. Richard Harris, you have the mic, my friend.
Thank you. I honestly don't know if I've done this here before. It's a fairly new one, so I may not have done. Discovering myself. My life has had turbulence. I've not always coped. In fact, 4 breakdowns, diagnosed clinical depressions, 2 full years off work, 1 year unable to leave the house, largely in bed, psychotherapy, cathartic, helpful. A man who really should not have been a father as my dad. A mother who died of cancer at 50 when I was 13. A sexual predator, paedophile as a stepmother. All caused damage, terrible damage. A sister with ADD, attention deficit disorder. That sister dying violently at 49. All these things caused harm. Panic attacks over things, cancelled holidays, being dealt with unfairly, a situation at work, causing the work to break down. Attacks and slights taken vastly hard, things I knew in my brain should not affect me, but did, haunted me for weeks. And then the discovery that I was, due to my early life, bipolar, with excessive highs and lows in my reactions to life and the crap it throws. And also that I had RSD, rejection dysphoria syndrome, unable to regulate reaction to rejection, a moment of startling self-revelation, a huge understanding of myself, a calming to an extent. I know why there has been so much pain. Now I must try very hard to avoid crisis, confrontation, toxic, venomous people, remove myself from noxious situations. I feel this knowledge is a great step forward, and I finally discover myself. I can now move on, understand me, and be me, whole. Then another one, which is completely different. I am not in shock over Donald Trump being re-elected, but I am horrified by it. I realized fairly late in my life just quite how many stupid, thick, ignorant people there are around. There are some wonderful, enlightened people, of course, but you do come across a lot of very limited, ignorant, non-reading, non-researching people. And I had a conversation in the street a few years ago, and this is more or less it verbatim. I've just tidied it slightly. I haven't altered any meanings. And it's called foreigners. Here, that Mother Teresa, she's an Itai, which means Italian in English. She should go back home. She's dead. She died in 1997. But if she wants, she'd be over here taking our jobs. She was a nun, so we should have British nuns just taking our jobs. I don't think it works like that with nuns. But she worked with the poor in India, and she wasn't Italian. Well, you know what I mean? No, I don't. All the problems here are caused by foreigners taking our jobs cheap. So it's nothing to do with greedy employers offering 0 hours contracts and paying crap wages then. Silence. So what's your job? Me? I work in a cafe, cash in hand. So waitress said, no, it's more collecting and washing pots. And you claim benefits. No, I just get universal credit in my wage. So you get enough to live on and take a job from someone else. Are you stupid and thick or what? Don't be daft. I'm British. It's fine. And at that point, I just gave up because there was absolutely no point in continuing the conversation. And just a short one, which I'm very fortunate to get in a book that Finn Hall has put together called ain't no deadbeat around here. And it was my reaction to Trump being elected the first time, but it's gone back to mind. And this is a true incident that probably has disappeared amongst all the other cock-ups involving Donald Trump. But this is called humiliation. A major press conference, he announced, from the golf course at a posh hotel, he announced, booked and organised by his cohort, Giuliani. The Four Seasons, so prestigious. The hotel distanced themselves and denied the booking. And then the appalling truth emerged, the hilarious, appalling truth. It was not the posh hotel, but a thinly named gardening shop on a row of businesses between a dildo shop and a crematorium on the forecourt, and they didn't think to cancel it. They made allegations of election stealing, humiliating themselves again around the world, which of course they did not substantiate. My hero of the hour is the person who took the booking, who must know that this booking on their forecourt next to a dildo shop was in error. But let them carry on. I don't know who you are, but wow, I love you. So three fairly different pieces.
Well done. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for sharing, especially the first piece about the things you've gone through, the resilience that you've had to live life with. So I appreciate that. For the second two, I don't agree with your viewpoint, but I appreciate the creativity and the brilliance of poetry. My invitation to everyone is this. We don't need to call names when we differ politically. Because whether I agree with you or not, we're still human. We're entitled to our opinions. Mm. And we've seen that not just this election cycle, for decades now. We are better than this. We are way better than this. I am not a fascist. I'm not a racist because I disagree with you. We need to stop doing that. I'm not saying to anyone in here, just a general statement, because whoever watches this video later on, we need to stop that. We're Canadians, we're Americans, we're English, we're Irish, we're Zambian, South African, Egyptian, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're still human. That we do not think alike and see things the same does not make it because I see different than you, that somehow I'm less than you, because I am still human like you, capable of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. So I'm going to invite my poet family. Let's not play that game. Let's not buy into what the media tells you. A house divided cannot stand, and a house divided will definitely fall. Because if a house like us fall, then what the hell did CP put on a uniform for? If we all have to think the same way and fall in line, that's a dangerous slope we're entering. Anyway, that's my political commentary. Richard, once again, thank you, brother. Thank you for your support and for always sharing your vulnerability, sharing what you've gone through. The more I hear of your story, the more, the more your light shines to me. So I appreciate you very much, very much. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, another brilliant poet. Neil, the mic is yours, and Maddie, you're in the hole.
Thanks, Raul. And CP, my God, what an amazing set. That words fail me. Amazing. I've got three, maybe four. They're fairly short. I may have read this one out before, but I'm going to read a bit of a preamble verbatim. It's a poem called The Near Room. So this title, The Near Room, derives from a description by Muhammad Ali of a shadowy, proximate reality that would make its presence felt at the most hazardous moments of a fight. An unruly corner of the mind that he would sense out from the corner of his eye. It was a place where danger and chaos lurked and potential oblivion lay in store. As vivid and haunting as a fever dream, the near room brings these specters of the psyche sharply and starkly into the light. So that's the preamble from Muhammad Ali. And I am going to read the poem I wrote called The Near Room. In the near room, where smoky shadows wield their steel, the scrape of sword from scabbard drawn, where the battle wages across each virtual mirror, each thrust is met with counter thrust, patient parries precede the feints with foil, back and forth the fencer's fence, long and linear are their saber stabs. Out in the open, the riposte of response, attack and counterattack, muscle memory of rapier and man, lateral lunges, years of practice, the dance is deadly. So easy to be seduced by the stealth of swordplay, the silky smoothness of sinew and sword. So easy to forget that before the sun sets, there will be blood. Yet the near room, yet the near room screams out its clear and ever-present danger. It is here that duelists dwell in a dual world. It is here where duels are won or lost, where amidst the thrust and parry, the cold arrogance of steel on steel, the killing thrust is just a frame away. Beware, beware, the near room whispers. Beware, beware, the near room warns. Hot blood, the heat of day, quick to anger, words mercurial, followed by crisp swordplay. Loyal Mercutio falls to Tybalt's blade, whose sword song stung its snake bite. A one, a two, give me another Montague. The near room telegraphs all the moves not made. Two killing strikes lie hidden, one amongst the smoke and mirrors, and the other camouflage amidst the cloak and daggers. Then shadows merge with the swords in hand, then the glint of sunlight on Romeo's raging rapier that slips and sneaks beneath the master swordsman's arm. The near room screeches to a halt. So I kind of transposed, if you will, a boxing analogy into Shakespearean swordplay. So there you go. The next one, CP, I wrote, and this poem, well, it's probably the only poem of mine that's got an award. I wrote it and submitted it into a contest. I don't live in India anymore, but obviously, affinity of an early childhood, and obviously I associate with India. And it was a contest by the Ministry of Defense in India. So some of the references are to battlefields where battles were fought with China and indeed Pakistan, but it's in keeping with the theme, I think, of tonight. So this is called "O Brave Soldiers." For all the brave soldiers of India, you who went to war, pledged allegiance to your country, who could ask for more? To protect her and defend her no matter what the cost, giving up your lives for her so wars would not be lost. You fought for us in Longewal, in Titival, and in Siachen. All the sacrifices that you made in comrades and in men. For all the brave soldiers of India, you who went to war, bringing honor to your family and honor to your corps. So that's the second one. And I'm going to try, I'm not sure I always succeed. I'm not very good with technology, oddly enough. I'm going to try and end with another piece. Some of you may have heard this on David Sir Lois's latest thing. So, yep, it's up there. And that's a painting by Mary Klein Misol, who lives in Iowa. And there are 4 poppies out there. So let me just get to the poem. Give me a second, please. Yeah. I think I'll get there in a second. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry, Neil. You said this is a painting?
Yeah, it's a painting. It's not a photograph. She's a brilliant artist, and
Wow.
yeah. Normally, when you talk about Veterans Day and so on, it's red poppies, but I like the fact that they were orange. So orange, 4 poppies.
Mm-hmm.
4 poppies. On battlefields do poppies grow, by mortar and shell rubble does the soil get tilled. Through lime leak and gas, the fields are filled. One poppy pops up for each soldier killed. Much resemblance amongst poppies, comrades all, scarlet, red copies, cloaked in blood, flowers of remembrance, memories returning in a flood, blossoming in spring but gone by the fall, each one for a young soldier who fought and fell, brave men buried alongside the allegiance they swore to all those who would not live to tell the horrors that they knew as war. Into more than two, many of us are torn, the crimson pinned to heart and chest, but the blood-red patch still gets worn, a salute to the servicemen laid to rest. Thank you.
Beautiful, my friend. Beautiful, beautiful tribute to anyone that has served. Thank you, Neil. And
yeah, that was for CP and his comments. So,
yeah. And your one poem, your one nomination is the first of many to come, my friend. You're a brilliant writer. You're a brilliant, brilliant storyteller. So thank you. All right. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to is Mania still here? Or did he leave? I think he left. Okay. He was a friend of CP. I thought he wanted to recite, but I guess family calls, so they're off to do whatever they had to. All right. So up next then is Maddie. Maddie is new to the Inspired Poetry Corner, and she's also a friend of CP. The mic is yours. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I have been thoroughly enjoying the show. Thank you so much for having me. I've never been here before, and like you said, and yeah, it's gonna be my new regular spot. I just have one poem. Thanks, CP, for inviting me. Your set was awesome. I'm so proud of you. All right. Dr. Thema said to me last week, if you watch TV dramas to fall asleep, you should be asking yourself, why do I find trauma relaxing? I had been cataloging depictions of every felt thing I cannot say in my own words. I'm autistic, I speak fluent TV, I quote the film, and there I can remember myself in this body. There's a commercial with a woman in a dress advertising a vacuum cleaner. She drinks because she has children. She wears a polka dot dress. I learned how to cross my legs from her. I mimic the way she pours her coffee. There's a massive dog crate, a potty training cage lining the limits of this city dressed up as a welcome sign, and I am confined to this place. I am the Truman Show baby. They cast me at age 2. If I don't see you myself soon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. What have you been watching? I got lonely enough to think the homeless people are my parents, trying to break into the set to find me. I get lonely enough, I watch the Truman Show over and over, and I imagine this is all the before part. Before I discover that my wide open heart has captured the nation, and they, as a thank you, let me go free through the glowing red exit, welcome sign. Tell me if this is normal, or if I am my own unabridged limbic system kicking and doused in gasoline while David Attenborough is saying goodbye, and I'm sorry, and then signing off, leaving the set. Return to the source we are killing. I broadcast my wounds for mass media consumption in hopes I am entertaining to you when I'm dying. If I die, my friends, all paid actors, show up for the funeral. There's a sharp pain working its way from my television into my body. It chimes, it chimes, it chimes, it puts me to sleep. I quote it in dream speech. I sit up out of bed gasping, true crime specials so intoxicating we call them sweet and we eat them. Why are you relaxing in the apocalypse if not for the intentional programming of fear culture? When was the last school shooting? When did Hamas strike? Turn reality off and tune into another murder mystery turned Hallmark. The itch is alive and breathing down your neck, so you find a support group for this type of insomnia, thinking you are sick for turning away from reality to the video game, to the drink, to the next razor blade. My headstone will read, she tried so hard to make sense of this place, and sound mixing will get the Oscar for me. I get best supporting actress post-mortem, cut to credit scene, cut to YouTube. Cut to dopamine extension, cut to Greta Thunberg takes the knife from my static rage and is carried off by police. Good night. A sharp pain stabs through my writing. Good morning. I don't want to talk about complacency anymore when there are fighter jets mic'd up and tuning the forks in our spine to a new normal. Good afternoon. The sound of all this crying makes the TV really hard to hear. Good night. Wake up, you crybaby. Come outside. I can skin my knee and prove it don't hurt as much as complacency, as much as 7 billion boiling frogs in water all at once. There is a hope shaped like real terror at the edge of your fingertips. I'm asking you to reach past the film strip to your heavily sedated grief. They will keep this show running till your parents cash the checks. Your Truman Show, your royalties are sweating hundreds in the nosebleed section, unmedicated, miseducated. Dr. Thema said it would be near impossible to change the channel, but on the static revelry, there is an alternate, a director's cut ending. I'm trying to make you look up. Attenborough elects himself the new voice of capital G God in this one, and he lowers the temperature in here. Thunberg gives a speech uninterrupted by ableist far-right Nazi-quilted haters. From this reclining lazy boy, I can make the genocide feel like euphoria. We are all going to be dancing in the streets one day. Why not before the riots break? Why not do it awake before they bury us, before we suffocate in the dust, before the cell towers will inevitably erase us? There is a ring of dark ink lining my bathtub, where the dead girl crawls out of my television at age 12. I am Maddie's holy bruising pages. I am trying to matter before they put the wrong quote on my headstone, so I can make the words mine and matter. So if I see you, good night. If I wake you, good morning. May we use these stacks of collected memorabilia, DVDs, TV sets, surround sound speaker systems, Marvel lore, cult classic context to make something original. Cook the middle part down to today, tomorrow. Make an original period piece for the 7 billion frogs boiling in the water on this day and for generations, passing down archaic violence till it evolves past blood into our phones and the lights in our hands, making our faces bright while we die. Genocide disguised as a dopamine exercise. Poem.
How you do what you do, and you do it so well.
What the hell do you say? Who the hell are you? Where'd you come from?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm trying to matter before they put the wrong quote on the headstone. Well, I don't know you, but you already matter. That was brilliant. You're a Truman Show baby. Wow. Maddie, what's your last name?
Demar.
Sorry?
Demar.
Kumar?
Demar.
Emar? Okay. Or find me on Facebook or wherever you saw. I would love to connect. I would love you to come back to do this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh
cool.
my God. CP, you hang out with some crazy people, dude. Wow.
And so many of them are in the room. So it's gonna be like a nonstop, like I'm in the candy store right now.
There you go. And Maddie, welcome. You belong here. Yeah, like to steal from back, remember back in your Eureka days, one of us.
Yeah, wow. One of us.
One of us. Wow, wow, wow. Well done. What a treat. Powerful stuff, Maddie. Powerful, and you do matter. You do matter. So, all right. Excuse me. This frog in my throat. Dale, you're up in the hole, and up next, Jennifer, all the way from Germany. The mic is yours, my friend. Welcome.
Hi. My voice is again giving problems, but I hope you'll be able to understand all my poems. I'm going to do 3 today, 2 short ones and a longer one. They're all new. The first one is titled In Search of God. Ups and downs, work, then jobless, home, then homeless, loved and lost, loved and lost. I felt God hid his face from me. I searched for God, praying, God, please let my life regain stability. Don't let them take everything away from me. Please let the next man in my life be the last man in my life. I searched for God. Knowing of my sincerity, God did not turn his back on me, returned my work, home, stability to me. God even set me up to find godly you. Thank you, God, for taking care of me, giving me a pure-hearted man, treating me sincerely, so lovingly. My next poem is titled Wig Revolt, because I hate seeing in the newspapers or on TV all these black judges still wearing these white horsehair wigs from the centuries ago. In court, at ceremonies, white wigs atop black natty hair. Back then, no choice, colonial remnants. 21st century, black lawyers, black judges still wearing 17th century white horsehair wigs atop black natty hair. What do they fear? Time to abolish this remnant of colonial oppression. Time to set examples for the younger generation, showing them proud, educated Africans can make their own socially conscious decisions, making their ancestors proud, making the new generation proud, that our heads are not stuck in white clouds. Time to start a peaceful revolution, no more wearing white wigs following British tradition. End of poem. My last poem is a romantic one, actually inspired by Ronnie Tucker, one of the poets I've heard on the Fertile Brains. In our Fertile Brains WhatsApp chat group, he posted a poem, a very, very sad poem. And the line that struck out was, "So empty is my broken heart." So that poem moved me so much that I've written a poem in response to his poem. And my poem is titled, "Allow Me, I Am Willing." I have been here in the shadows, observing you, admiring you, yet too shy to come forward, fearing you may turn me down, fearing my outward appearance is not that of your dream partner. Oh, I would so love to touch you, hug you, look deeply into your eyes and kiss you. I do so want to dance with you, letting the music of my love spin us around in delight. I want to feel the void you feel. Allow me to chase away your loneliness, filling you with my loving tenderness, bringing back the glow to your eyes, allowing my passion to resurrect the sparks of your dominant fire. Allow me to touch you, hug you, kiss you, chase away your depression with my sincere, romantic understanding, words and actions. Allow my heartbeat to feel your heartbeat, uniting our bodies in a frenzy. Allow me to pick you up whenever you fall. I need you to allow me to make you experience feeling needed. Allow me to be the light of your life, the joy of your life. Allow me to become your lover, your wife, so that you'll never be lonely again. Allow my love right now, this moment, today, to make you look forward to being filled with much more love every tomorrow. No need to fear again being drowned in sorrow. Allow me to be the light of your life each day, each night. Allow me to be the peacefulness at nights in your slumber, your dreams. Allow me to brave all professional, all health storms with you. Allow me to mend your broken heart, showering you daily with my love, keeping you warm inside, bringing back happiness to your face as you swim in my ocean of passion, riding my waves of sincerity. I heard your plea. I am reaching out to you because I really care. Do you really want to give up? Or will you let me in? Do you dare to care?
Oh, wow, Jennifer. Wow. Okay. You know, it's funny with your strained voice. It so worked with that last piece.
Yeah.
Right? It so worked with that last piece. And it's not the desperation, but the plea. Will you let me in? Will you let me love you? I'm straining here. My voice is going. Are you willing to open the door? I hope that next man that walks in is the last man, because that, if you gotta, I would go to a Friday night I was gonna say a bar, go to a church and read that poem. And if they don't line up, you're in the wrong church. That's brilliant. That's one of my favorite pieces of yours. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jen. Good to see you. All right. Excuse me. From brilliance to brilliance. Up next, talk about resilience. This human is being tested all the time, but keeps showing up. You don't ever have to apologize to me. You just keep showing up. Up next, our friend Dale, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Raul. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Okay, good. New mic, just making sure. Okay. I have two here today, both kind of medium, short to medium. Bright is another word for empty. Waking in the morning to the voices of birds, bugs, or at least a few shy chatters here and about. The light in the sky is rosy with wildfires. The warmth of the day begins to seep in, and the scent of dead leaves competes with fresh blooms in the verge outside my door. November breezes confused weave them together. I am waking up on this bewildered morning. Warm, dry air and the cries of the last few birds in the hitching line of a lost insect. The sunlight and smoky skyline and the great hot stillness of the day coming in again, aching and stiff, hanging skin and crisp bones. The insects and birds, sprouts rising, and the fallen leaves. The wildfires are flying, and the leaves are alight on the horizon. Waking, I face the red west. And this second piece is it's an acrostic on Composition 7 by Vasily Kandinsky, which is actually a piece that he wrote about his experiences in World War I. And this is sort of, I'm reading it in honor of CP and the other vets who are here today. I come from a military family as well. My father, my grandfather, my brothers. So, a flood like an army. The title smells like ozone in the air. The warm wet of the foundations, blocks of color like shadows. In the cream, green, brown of the background, the sounds of rolling thunder in the distance, soft and menacing. Sleek sparks on my palm like new velvet. The blues all taste of cold berries. Shapes and thick lines emerge from the haze, bleeding and percolating out into the canvas. The center comes surging forward like waves roar. I can taste chlorophyll and soil, cold water and copper, and the gashing angles and hash marks like blades unspooling, like slices through skin in perfect frantic intersections, anxious slashes, black and red, the stinging sing-song of parabolic bridges rocking. Smell of old worn bayonets crusted with earth. I am sinking back into the river. Thank you.
Do you have a way of making a room just go really quiet?
Well, everyone was muted.
No, they were, but you watch them, they're like, because to me, that as soon as you open your mouth, bright is another word for empty. I was like, okay, here we go. It's on. I keep saying this to you. You're a brilliant writer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're brilliant. And, you know, I don't know why you've been given the challenges you are, but man, I hope the writing helps you because
It does, and everybody deals with their own stuff. I truly believe that.
they do.
I really do.
But we're talking about you, and I just appreciate you keep showing up. And I am bent and determined to feature you one day. We will get it right one day.
We'll manage it.
We will get it right one day. You just keep showing up. I love you very much. I think you're powerful. And there's nothing empty about you. And you're very bright. So thank you. From brilliance to brilliance, and no, not just brilliance, a pushcart nominee, Mary Ann. The mic is yours. Kate, you're on deck.
Thank you so much for that, Raul. I really appreciate it. It has indeed been quite a year on the poet's path for me. I've been writing, honestly, since the Dead Sea was sick, and kind of seriously for about 15 years. But the last couple of years, since I made many friends here in the Inspired Poetry Corner and at the Nuyorican and elsewhere, I've learned so much, and I've really had so much support from so many. And I'd like to share a couple of pieces that have been enjoyed by a few along the line. The first piece, Astrolabe, was written, it was inspired by something I had read about the 10th century Syrian astronomer Miriam al-Astrolabi. And it was honored for Best of the Net by McQueen's Quinterly. Before I became a girl whose gaze searched for infinity, I walked with my father in the fragrant market, fingers interwoven like the knots of my mother's rug, eyes carefully fixed on the corrugated street that I would not lose my way among the spires that sliced the clouds. Maybe you do not know, my father named me for the sea and ancient river that cradle the once shining city of my birth. Among all the drops that fill the oceans of the world, I always knew I was beloved, for I was allowed to hold the universe in my hands and look beyond circumscribed fate of those who would become our daughters toward the place where you can read my name indelibly written among the stars. And on the theme of memory, I'm so honored to be nominated for a pushcart together with my great friend Mona and Debbie Segal and others from Maori literature. That is Finn Bell's baby and work. And this poem, Voices, was nominated there. Your voice comes to me like tarot and religion, without a crucifix, without a crucifix to echolocate its meaning. Lexicon slurred across pages scorched by time, inked in lavender bled from the raincoat that once tried to convince me my childhood was happier than the rest. I want you to hold me astride your mouth, where your sound may ground my nest, as I weave frayed twigs and sand-washed glass into the place I now call home. And finally, because I have spent a good bit of the last year anyway, or the past 6 months, swapping chairs with my dear friend C.P. Mays, who was off the chain today, I would like to read a piece for him that you might enjoy hearing again, CP. It's called Letter to My Younger Self. I'll make it brief. A lot of shit doesn't matter, but some things do. Brush your teeth, wear the sunblock. Trust me, you'll save gabillions on dental and dermatology bills. Don't defend the indefensible, even if you're wrong. And even a big-mouthed smart aleck like you will be wrong sometimes. Admit it and shut up, which also happens to be incredibly disarming. You'll end up watching plenty of folks keep asking for the deal and talking themselves out of it before they realize they've rightly won the point. Sex isn't everything, but it sure as hell is something, unless it's all you've got. Math isn't hard. It took Homo erectus 200,000 years to master fire. That was hard. You can crack binary today. They don't expect you to be the CEO, unless you are the CEO. Otherwise, just get there on time and do your job. Better 5 minutes early than 2 minutes late. Marcus Aurelius was right. Work on controlling yourself. That's sure kept me busy all these years. And by the way, be yourself. Everybody else is taken anyway. Use the good china. What are you saving it for? Buy the stilettos, then just shrug when everyone asks, how can you dance in them? Take the trip. Don't be the one whose headstone says, wish I'd spent more time at the office. If the choice is piano or soccer, remember, everyone on the team will soon have their own kids, and they'll be going to their matches, not yours. Boys do like smart girls, even if it takes some of them a while to figure it out. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably bullshit, just as my father was always known for saying. And as your daughter will one day remind you, oral sex is a thing of beauty and it is non-negotiable. Thank you so much for the privilege of sharing this day with everyone here in the corner, and especially you, CP Mays.
Hell yes, it's beautiful. Sex isn't everything unless it's all you got, and oral sex. See why she got nominated for Pushcart? Well done. That line alone.
They don't have an award yet for cheeky.
They don't have
but it might be coming.
I love that. Oral sex is beautiful. It is beautiful. Anyone that doesn't enjoy oral sex, I don't know. I mean, need to revoke your human card. So anyway, thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you for that. That was spicy.
Always fun.
That was spicy. That was spicy. I like that. I like that. See, that's what happens when you probably hang out with people like CP. So speaking of CP, how you doing? You're sitting back. How you feeling right now? You good?
I'm just like the camp I came up with. Like one of our biggest compliments was the phrase "fuck you." Like it's like I should have came up with that line of verse first. Like fuck you, like oh fuck, like that is so dope. Like right, that's all I'm getting right now. Every person, Jennifer, like every person stepping up. I'm having these moments. Like that is so dope. Like I'm floored.
And if any of you are not familiar, CP has a show, Bottoms Up, that he hosts. What, the third? Is it the third? No,
second and fourth
Sunday of each month, which I haven't been to in a while. I keep promising, but then again, one of my things for 2025 is to get back to reciting. I've kind of like fallen off the face of the earth of reciting, so it's time to change that. So I definitely got to honor you, brother, and show up. So anyway, glad you're enjoying. This woman hasn't been here in a while, but she was here just not too long ago for another support, so it's good to have her back. Kate, the mic is yours. Oh, you're still muted, my friend. Principe, you're up next.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And the three people I could see on the screen, I would like to address to Marianne and to you, my friend, for reaching out to me, and also to CP Mays for lifting the goodness in our hearts for each day. What I want to say, Raleigh and Marianne, and I'll say it in a short story. My younger brother and my younger sister came up to the Horsetooth Mountain where I moved there. It's been, 50 years. And they came and they had to tell me something, and I thought I was in trouble. They're like, no, Kate, sit down. And I sat down. And I said, what? What did I do? Are you mad at me? And they said, no, we need to tell you something very important. And they were in their teen years. And they said, Kate, we want you to know we have always considered you our mother. And so the short story moves on because my younger brother, Larry, he died in 2005. And one cannot ever imagine feeling as a mother to the younger siblings. And then suddenly I was not myself because a year ago, my younger sister died. And I know that I have had a mother that started a grief education institute in Denver about 40 years ago. And she has also passed of older age, not like my younger siblings. And so when I found myself not myself, there are two people here today that reached out to me, Rowley and Marianne. And so without those reach outs of people that have felt your story, your poem, your heart, and are Rowley inviting me back in again, I just had to explain I'm not myself. I'm back. My first poem. This is a picture. If you can see it, I hope I'm showing it. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Uh-huh. Okay. So, oh, there I am. Hey, look, you got my whole laundry room and den room.
Hold it up again. There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, thank you. Bringing me in. Okay. Mwah. Sunday Gospel, Maxwell Street. After Bob Corritori's photography circa the 1960s, a true Chicago phenomena, where I felt welcome in diversity, where folks gathered in a city neighborhood, where the song of soul rose, where music was praise, where rhythm aligned dance, where all expressions of life's joy illuminated, where I was far from the suburban protocol, where small town taunts would claim it not my place, where I would be told not to go, where I may be considered an intrusion, where my eyes learned to spark, where my voice learned to sing, where my sad face was greeted with a smile, where all the hope is prepared for the next day. My grandmother went into the inner city of New York City, and she taught kindergarten. And my mother also became a teacher in New Jersey, where our family moved, but we always went into New York, always. New York City. One of my best times in New York City was seeing Alberta Hunter. And Alberta Hunter, she returned after decades of not singing. She went back to be a nurse, and she played at the cookery. And so this is my second poem. Thank you, Raleigh. Again, Marianne, always reach out to somebody that is experiencing grief as much as they may think they know how to get through it. Peace into place. There beneath my feet is a rich, dark soil. Many moons raised the old compost pile, digging deep to reap her moist, wormy worth, filling wheelbarrows, planting new beginnings. Their heritage long ago turned and toiled. A generation has left its earthly place, digging deep into the rank and file, goose-stepped unwittingly for the commandant. There beneath my feet, a packed old musty children books, meant for merriment, glee, and sleep, sway, learning lessons, dodging banishment as an obedient child, now outspoken, reuniting in truth revealed. There survives a bond of grace between love and hope. May multitudes never cease to turn peace into place. Thank you.
Oh, Kate. First of all, continued condolences for you and your family. More importantly, I'll always reach out. You're an example of, we never know what someone is going through.
Right.
We always assume they don't show up because of something that you either did or you take it personally. Don't assume. You never know what someone is going through. More importantly, know that people are going through because you're going through it. We're all going through stuff. This is why, to reiterate the comments I made earlier, I don't care about your politics. I want to talk. I don't care. Me loving you is not a requirement for me to like your politics or how you think. I love every human because you're human. Loving you, not loving you is not loving me. Do I like you? That's a different story. We have to have a cup of coffee and talk about that.
Yeah.
But my love flows for you. So I'm glad that you're back, Kate. Come back with a vengeance, because you don't know you'll miss something sometimes until it goes and you started reading and it's like, oh my God, there's that nostalgic storytelling again. And it actually, that first piece took me back to being a kid in Brooklyn and just remembering the good times and the camaraderie of community and stuff like that. So well done. Thank you so much for that gift. And we're always here for you. Excuse me. We're getting down to the end, guys. And like I said, I'm not gonna make apologies for the show being long, but one of the reasons I don't mind it because there are times people come here and they want to share and they want to get things off their chest. And I applaud you for being here for them. I applaud you for allowing them to have that. Richard always wants to share with us, and I'm glad that he feels safe to do so, and I hope he does it in other shows. And Kate, you can come here and share. Even if you just wanted to share and not read a poem, you are welcome to do that. So thank you. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, Principe, you got the mic. Up next, Mona. Sorry, Mona, you're in the hole. Principe, you've got the mic.
A feature legend. My younger self asks the current self, who are you? I couldn't tell him. Could be the red Corvette on our Route 66, but on winding roads. Could be, it used to be, stray kitten wandering away from home plate. Or I'm a Picasso creating a masterpiece. Wow, a masterpiece. Or I'm a disclaimer. Yeah, I do own these old splintering habits of mine. I could be a shipwrecked castaway on my own island, island, rummaging through things like a nomad. Better yet, I could be a communion cup, something to drink life from. How do people become legends after birth? How do they learn their worth? They find their pool of salvation, always themselves gift giving to others. They pull from deep wells of their damaged self, from a dark, damp cave. They become lovers, givers, and doers, etched in time forever. They are what you become. And another one, two more.
Yeah, you got up to 5 minutes, so knock yourself out.
Reflective of the past. Grandma's bed was untidy, yet a collected item of memories. She held on to the past because she never had a childhood. So she never discarded the past. She held on for dear life. Pictures, newspaper clippings, clothes, shiny items, etc. Became an adult before reaching adolescence. So she missed out on being a child. Didn't have much to grasp onto. Not everyone had the same childhood, so appreciate yours. I'll read one more. This one is called Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone of love and hate is the devil's playground. We are in between the blurred lines and confusion, or trying to find answers out of the mess. But none of it makes sense. After so many times, you can't tell the difference. This validation of ours, no answer because my vision is diluted by past attempts have been sullied by each telescopic moment. So I'm more defeated as I was a redcoat in the War of 1812. No longer can I bear this love. No longer can I tear up. No longer can I hear a sound. So I dance in the twilight of a love lost. Thank you.
Thank you, Principe.
Well,
it's amazing how leaps and bounds you've grown, not just in your writing, you're presenting. You know, Principe he struggles with speaking sometimes, but in the period of time I've known him, he's grown so much, and his writing has grown so much. For any of you that offer assistance to him and getting better, because it's writing, his words, there's such depth to it. And this is one of the reasons I love what we do, is because when you sit here, it's not just about you reciting, you're waiting for you to recite, right? It's the ability to sit and listen and to go beyond any distraction and really listen to what the poet is offering. And I think that's one of our true gifts. So, I like I said, again, I remember him at Eureka in the early days, and just the way he's grown to. So well done, Principe. Keep writing. I love what I'm seeing when you're on LinkedIn and you're pushing your dreams, and yeah, because he desires to write for the Times one day. And I say, let's do everything in our power to help him get there. So let's do everything in our power to help him get there. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. This is the last group coming up. We have Mona, Lanton, Richard, Brian, Leslie, and Eddie. And with the indulgence, I'll steal something from, I think it used to be the Thursday Night Eureka, where they had 2 people in the waiting list. I will leave it to the post, but there are 2 poets here who did not let me know. And again, this is not an open mic show. I know some people come thinking it's an open mic. It's not an open mic show. But Carrie and Henry would like to read. So right now you're in the waiting room. I'll do my best to get you on. I'm going to put it out to the poets, but I'm pretty sure they'll say yes. So, but you'll probably just get to do one. So anyway, like I said, from Principe to Mona, the next push cart nominee, right? Look how poetry's embraced her. More importantly, look how she's embraced poetry in the year. She's in school now to be a real creative writer. And is it about a year you've been doing this, or maybe just a little bit more? So yeah, all the high praise I think is justified. The fact that someone thought one of your poems was worthy of a push cart. So well done. Anyway, the mic is yours, Mona. Lanton, you're in the hole.
Thank you, Raul. I wanted to thank CP, and I wanted to say that I'm truly humbled, listening to you again and again. These poems are just kind of land so much with me. I that's all I can say, that I'm very humble. Like, I don't know anything really. What do I know? I'm just a mom. But I wanted to say that I often, when I listen to you, I think that just saying thank you for your service is not enough. It's nice, but not enough. So thank you, CP. This poem is a remake on a poem, American Soldier, that I wrote when my son enlisted and became a soldier. So I built on that recently. It's called Jacob's Ladder. And the epigraph to that talks from Genesis. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on earth, and on top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And I'm going to stop here. This is a Genesis quote. Up where the buffalo still roam, the road circles up the mountain. The great plains stretch wildly in the distance. Here, fading, the sound of shells and buzzards out for fresh kill. No matter, out in Fort Sill, one knows. The day my son became a soldier, I went up the mountain to the refuge where the buffalo still roam. Hours under the scorching sun, no company but vultures. On rugged paths through meadows of green threads and barren oaks, I walked as if my feet were bare, touching Indian graves under each rock. Here, one looks up the heavens between drills, biblically. Climbing the ladder is no small matter, he said. I'm here to stay. Not here, but stay. Look how the sun is always about to set in Oklahoma, biblically. On each side of the road, wildflowers turn their heads, the meadows radiant and alive. Graves of all kinds line the valley. Indian paintbrush blazed the way down to the river, this other kind of grave. Out of its waves, though faint, a clear voice. Do not be afraid, my daughter. There is this gift still to be given. On each side of the road, wildflowers welcome you, mother, into this larger heart. Come, mother, come, I'll show you the way. Up where the buffalo still roam, as far as I can see, everywhere, everywhere, the mountain flowers sing for me. And I have one more poem. It's called The Work. And I kind of like this one because CP, you said your favorite sound is the wind, so watch for the wind. The Work. Unfinished thoughts pierce the air like leaves meet fall, golden and ready and released. I shake my head, the body follows. Tell it obliquely, never completely, say those who know not to hurry. The pile gathers behind the house, the yard clear for one moment, singular and green. Breathe in. Now filled again with golden glory, depleted, I question the ferocity of the compulsion to make it clean. The clothesline packed and ready, wildly stretched sails of a ship still long ways from safe harbor. Here, openly, I question my departures. I have arrived, I know, like the wind. Yes, how it dries us all. Deliberations folded, stacked, and put away, clean for one moment, singular and white. Breathe out. In a blink of an eye, another load. The fluttering of colored linens refuels the autumn sky with elemental pleas. Deer have rested under my trees, their pellet trail a gift, though I don't know it, as I clean. They will return just like the maple and the red oak, only much sooner, with quiet eyes and undisturbed, like everything on earth I step on. And I do. Yes, I do it again. I do it all. Never completely untangled, the lines hold no weight. Those who know no haste say it's slant. Breathe in. the wind. Thank you.
Oh, Mona. That last piece was just beautiful. And that
yes,
just beautiful. The imagery from your writing, your words, and the way you string them together. And I remember I remember when you read the first piece. Right. I think you were down, in Oklahoma when your son was in jail. And it's just gotten even more powerful. And it's funny hearing it this time. I'm not just hearing the mother of a soldier. It actually made me realize how Mother Gaia must feel, because to some degree we're all her children in this war called life. So she must feel a lot of the same way you do, and all mothers do. And CP's mom felt when, not just when he put a uniform on, but then when he had to go off to war. So I applaud you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. It took a while for me to realize, like, our families serve as much as we do when we're overseas, you know?
We do. Yes.
Like, we put y'all through so much, y'all not hearing from us in a while because we can't call, or like you guys serve. Thank you for what you do and what you have to go through simply to be there for us when we can't be there for ourselves. So thank you.
Well
thank
done.
You,
well said, CP. Couldn't have said it better myself. We always forget, the families. Well, not always, but we tend to focus on the soldiers, and they need to, but they're not the only ones serving, right? Here in Canada, last week was Veterans Day, and here in Canada is Remembrance Day, and we always say, lest we forget. But we keep forgetting. Or maybe it's not so much about forgetting, it's just part of our humanity, and war, like I said, war may not be necessary, but it's part of our humanity. And the fact that someone's willing to defend us should be applauded. And the fact that a mother, she may not have a choice, but she makes the choice to accept her son or daughter wants to go off to stand on that wall. Yeah, they should be applauded as well. So thank you, Mona. Thank you for your service of your son. So well done. All right. That's why I love this show, man. That's why I love this show. That's why I love my poet family. So all right. From brilliance to brilliance, the brilliance is that he is the carrier, the lantern of the light. Mr. Lantern Carrier, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Celebrations of light. Love, like a flawless djembe, is an eternal music, echoing its own symphonies, drumming its own songs. It is a transcendent pearl felt by all familiar with the diamonds in our hearts. Celebration is the light of love, striving to rediscover its innate freedom, become its own joy. The glowing smile of a mother post-delivery of a newborn is usually one of boundless joy. The faces of the Indian diaspora for Diwali, Festival of Lights, are vibrant and cheerful. Remembrance Day is a tapestry of light and shadows, both emerging into the light of an ever-transcending progress. Celebrations are an essential part of the love which makes us holy. Christmas gives spiritual and family nourishment to many. It paves the way for bonuses at work, a well-deserved rest, the camaraderie in goodwill parties, Christmas carols and dinners, but above all, this too reminds us of the light of Christ. Enter the baby in a manger. His elegant smile lifts me, carrying nothing but the ethereal energy of love. It inspires me to let go of remorse, to show that both happiness and sorrow are chords of the universal music, worthy of acceptance, virtues of the celebration of this dance of life. Light, like the life tree of love, shows a path to both young and saging by utilizing the diverse branches through a plethora of poets, showing that we are all unique beacons, have a right to stand tall in our excellence. When the rain falls, I tend to be canopied by umbrellas. In the same way, wisdom dawns in my heart and mind, receptive to the power of healing psalms in their oratorical flow. The stars become my sparkle and not the night my darkness, parting the portals of my heart wide open so that the light within can roam its wilderness with sacred rays. Sometimes it is dark and I struggle only because I chase the moon away. Light inspires me to remove the dark clouds within, replacing them with the candle of vision so I can still see the lustrous dawn even in my darkest moments. It is in the realm of silent reflection that the fullness of the word works its magic, blending into the harp of harmonious symphonies. Poetry, like a florist, teaches me that diversity is sublime. It is not only the rose, but essentially the garden, which is the main team player, as the lushness of weeds, foliage, and branches also have something special to offer humanity. Perspectives. It is prudent to be careful when delving into mundane conflicts, as my heart's light may not be strong enough to rein in the after effects on my emotions. Flowers may not grow in harsh cold weather, but winter clematis retains its beauty and joy only because this season is its natural habitat. It is to the constellations I look for solace in my abyss, for to face this world alone may bring frequent pain. When the blue sky glows, flowers become awake, just as a ripe cocoon emerges into an exquisite butterfly. It is a celebration of light that illumines like the sun, like a child's radiant smile and innocent laughter, bringing nourishment to us, to the plants. The same awakener creates the miracle of a cocoon, and poetry becomes a channel of this energy of light. Love is the pulse of that which gives meaning to beings. Clouds tend to disperse when the heavens glimmer. Tulips fade in winter, only to rise again in the light of spring. Deep in our souls, light becomes the eloquent expression of the inexpressible, beseeching the guardians of the dawn, moons and stars, like Buddha, Krishna, Christ, even in our darkest hours. It is then that poetry soothes my turbulent waves and grieving hearts, its sweet fire of words burning the dross of my loneliness, its mystical bars speaking to the immaculate profundity of my soul's journey. Anton Carey, thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but I did something for the first time, I think not last week, the week before. I don't know, I was just kind of fed up with all the news and all the nonsense that was going on. And I was looking for something on YouTube to watch. And I found myself on my channel going through the old shows, listening to Lantern. I don't know about you, but it seems like when the world has lost its fucking mind, Lantern has a way of reminding us why it's important to be poets and to be human. That's why I say, his name is not just the name, it's his creative name, but he's the lantern. He's the carrier of the light. He's the carrier of the light. So I invite you, whenever you feel the world has lost its effing mind, which it seems to have lost its effing mind a little while ago, go listen to some of Lantern's poetry. It might bring things back into perspective that we are human. So thank you, Lantern. Appreciate that. Appreciate your love and support. From brilliance to brilliance, another brilliant poet. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised he actually didn't get nominated, but my good friend Richard, the mic is yours, my friend. Brian, you're in the hole.
Thank you, Raul. Thank you for this wonderful event. Thank you, CP, as always, powerful, marvelous, insightful work. I'm only going to read one and pass my time along to those other good people who have joined the waiting line. This is written for all those of us who were concerned that someone who called themselves a would-be dictator was elected. And I turn to an ancient Taoist proverb, and that brings me some solace. It's called Maybe or Maybe Not. The old horse farmer who had a lot, and on it he kept his horses, his son, and he would train the horses and put them through their proper courses. One day, when out their hut they strode to care for the horses as they always should, they found a horse of theirs was missing. People from the village offered condolence. They said the farmer suffered in this unlucky listing. Too bad, so sad they shared his misery. 'Tis an awful burden you suffer thisly. The farmer turned to say, 'Tis premature to say I suffer. Come by later after supper. 'Tis premature to count calamities. Each change is pregnant and rich with uncounted yet not impossible vanities. They pondered the farmer's peculiar counsel and wondered how could he reach such an answer. Later on in the week there appeared their missing horse, and another near. Where one had been lost, now there was two. What a glorious, magnificent luck had come through. The villagers came by to celebrate, and yet the farmer made it clear 'tis yet indeterminate. He counseled sagely and nodded toward the horses gravely. Maybe good luck, and yet it's too early to celebrate what may to some seem quite clearly and without hesitate. They wandered away in bitter confusion. They came to join in celebration and used then, but left bemused. The farmer yet was still restrained. He did not celebrate when this extra horse he seemed clearly to gain. It's yet uncertain, good or ill. Till reconciled, I'll hold my judgment still. We see the pattern changed and rearranged. How this may work out, let us yet be restrained. His son, not content to hold the horses, then nor let them wander until we find some reverses, chose to train this new horse who joined the herd, rather than let it wander thus untrained, seemed to him absurd. Yet, as he undertook to train this new mare, she threw him off onto the stony rock and roughy trail. At last, for shame, the villagers worried. How sad it is your son's storied training skills could not break the young mare's will. And now, alas, his own leg's broken. 'Tis harsh justice. The gods have spoken. It's too early, the farmer said. 'Tis far better that restrained we wait and remain unbaited, should we neither proclaim our woes related nor celebrate our fate therein untreated. 'Tis true, my boy has a broken leg, yet far from certain what burdens and sadness there must from this contain. Just then, the chieftain of the village rides into the village, bringing his men inside. He needs his army ready for war. They're rounding up young men to add to the force. If my son was well, he'd be off to war. What terrible battling war would be for him in store. And as it is, since his leg is broken, he cannot ride, and his fortune or misfortune seem to collide. And yet, the neighbors were puzzled. They cannot decide. Is this another solemn force astride? And when this kind of piety becomes part of our society, or yet something other, torn asunder, let us not rush, ripe in expectation, only to suffer more in premature pain or joyful lore. I blush to answer, sure.
Well done, my friend. Your use of humor to drive home things that we need to think about is so vastly underrated. So vastly underrated.
Thank you, brother.
Like I said, I'm surprised you weren't nominated in this round, because I think your poetry, maybe sometimes we get so caught up in the rhyming of it that maybe some lose the message. Whether you agree with the message or not, is because for me it forces you to really listen and understand what it is he is saying, and humor allows us to maybe sometimes see the absurdity of how we think and act. And that's what I love about your pieces. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, Generalissimo, highly decorated poet, brilliant young man. You got the mic, Leslie. You're in the hole.
Thank you, Raul. And Richard, I do agree with Mr. Rawl, Ian James, about the brilliance of your poetry. I just always enjoy it. There's always a message, and you just have a way of communicating that no one else does. So where was I? Oh, yeah. So the first poem that I'm going to do was just nominated for a pushcart uh, by Fenn Hall, and in his "There Ain't No Deadbeats Around Here" anthology. It's called Clash Pit. This poem was born of afterbirth from a dream, a Lazarus pit, which was once a pearlescent ocean of human being fear. People who look in mirrors with eyes wide open while pretending to be blind, while witnessing everything they never wanted to see about themselves. They lie about the color of their irises as if flowers can choose what colors their petals will display. Before the days of dating apps, when people had to describe who they were as if life was a poem and a personal ad wedged between help wanted and real estate listings, newsprint paper printed with ink that smelled of burning paraffin wafting into olfactory senses with verbal pheromones like if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, the premise of many early rom-coms. Before the days of keyboards and laptops, people would construct these messages with pen and paper, often editing and re-editing like a poet submitting the same poem to multiple journals, getting rejected and rejected and rejected. This was before people walked into businesses and strip malls to make videos in front of backgrounds to verbalize what they might write in a personal ad, with faces and TJ Maxx wardrobes on screen. The scripts for such screenplays would be rife with what they felt they could get away with saying, which would likely be fantasy versions of their existences for audiences of strangers who wrote and performed their own Oscar-worthy scripts, hoping for an afternoon at a coffee house, which might lead to dinner at a bistro, which might lead to how about a nightcap, or your place or mine, or oops, it's the morning after, or the clashes, should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble, and if I stay, it will be double. Lies are sleep wiped from eyes, and hastily made decisions, and tears rolling down cheeks, dripping into bathroom sinks before a single tooth is brushed with an index finger. The rush of water exiting the faucet sounds like a waterfall crashing upon a psyche. This puree of crime swirls down the drain through the water system, spilling into a Lazarus pit of anything, everything, and nothing, while the perp stands at the edge, deciding to dip a toe into something that might achieve something that might resemble immortality. And the next piece is in Kumar Prasanna's Reach for the Sky anthology from Fertile Brains. It's called The Art of the Take, the Meaning of Live. Gimme, gimme, gimme money. Pay my rent, don't keep me. Feed me, don't take my dignity. Give me a good life. To me, a good life is a life not spent alone. Gimme, gimme, gimme honey, royal jelly from a hive of bees, sticky and sweet, melting into my morning tea. It's flavored, taking my taste buds to ecstasy. Gimme, gimme, gimme sugar. When it's white, it's sweet, yet when it's brown, it's got the stuff the white ain't got. Then there's sugar that's almost black, so hard it must be heated to soften it, to use it. Though it's a little bitter, there's always some hidden sweet in everything that's bitter. Gimme, gimme, gimme rice. It can be sticky, it can be fluffy, so many colors, white is nice, but a bit of a letdown when you taste brown, so hearty and earthy. Then there's red, so seductively savory, and black rice, a superfood once reserved for royalty. It turns everything in the pot purple, like squid ink paints everything black. No matter where in the world you go, you will find a different rice. Rice is the grain of life. We can survive on rice alone. It nurtures our blood, brains, and bones. So gimme, gimme, gimme all I want, all I need. Gimme money, gimme honey, gimme sugar, gimme rice. Gimme water, gimme air, gimme breath, gimme life, gimme love, gimme the world. When someone says gimme, they really say, let me take from you. And if you give a little every time you take, those you take from won't eat your cake. After all, life is basically give and take, and all human beings take and give. And what if instead of gimme, you said, let me give? You might discover the meaning of to give is what it really means to live. Thank you, everyone.
Great.
Brilliant. The last of our Pushcart nominees. Well done, Brian, and congrats to all of you. Right? Congrats. I don't know. The way he writes, just the way you write. It's just brilliant. The imagery that comes from it. Sense of peace that I feel when I hear your words, even when you're writing about something that may be traumatic. So brilliant, my friend, brilliant. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Eddie, you're in the hole, and Leslie, you're on the mic.
Oh boy, what a wonderful event. Yeah, we've been through a lot of political changes recently. I live in 3 countries and the regime has changed in all 3 just recently. So my response to all this, to change, is just I'm an old hippie. Peace and love, unity and solidarity, and I'm going to stick with it. So this first poem, this was an open mic poem I wrote a long time ago when I first moved to Mexico, but I like this one. It's called Love This Night. This is the night that we break it down, the divides, the separations, the rifts, the fissures, and love each other. This is the night, not no pretend, no fake, I love you, man. I love you, woman. I love you, brother. I love you, sister, thumping on the back. No holding back, the wisdom, the release of real embrace, but the real thing, love. What would it be like? How would we go about it? What would pure love be? What would it feel like, smell like, look like? Is it anything we know? Any place we have already been? Are we intimate with the real get down intimacy of real love? You got to break it down to the moment because it happens in the cracks. The flit of energy coursing across a room, the shadow out of the corner of your eye, the blink of the eye that is God in action, God in movement, God dancing. The dancer is to the heavens as the fisherman is to the sea. Above and below, it is sheer, pure love and love only. That slippery moment when a chord from a guitar penetrates your bones. How would you go about it, meeting love? Maybe it's as simple as paying close attention to that slippery moment, that too fast to catch flicker of movement by the dancer in freeze frame pirouette, the light flick of the wrist of the fisherman casting the line. Pay attention to the in-between moments. Stand upright, look it in the eye so that your love, the love coming your way, the love with your name on it, hurtling at you, coming for you, the love that is there for you and no one else, that is right there in front of your face, even if you are not looking, gets noticed. Look it in the eye, hold on to it, see it, be with it, if for only one moment, before it slides down off of you and falls between the cracks. So the second one is sort of a continuation of maybe that. When I speak softly, when I speak to you, excuse me, I'll start again. When I speak to you and I speak softly, I have something to say. When you shout, if it gets to that point, that place, in that moment when you scream, the subtlety of meaning, what you have to say is lost and cannot be recovered. When you shout, I cannot hear you. The sweet whispers of the lover, you hear the dulcet sounds of your mother singing you the lullabies of her people, your people. You hear these. They register deep in your soul. We are made to only half listen to the harsh voice, to resist, to block, to not take into us, into the middle of our soft, soft bellies, the screams of another. So, listen to me, my love, my friend, little child, my sister or brother, listen to me when I speak to you, because this is love. And one final one. This was inspired. I was an art critic for many years, long time ago in Columbus, Ohio, and I was really fond of all my Black sister artists. Just love the gang, and they put together this show, this exhibition, and the title of it was called "This Bridge Our Back," and I just love that title. I loved every work in the show, and I love those women, and so I wrote this poem, and it's again about strength and solidarity. Under the cover of darkness, through the transmission of light, we come into existence. In being, we love. It is not the world of our parents, not the world that we knew. It's not the world of the ancient ones. It's not the world as it was. It is a world which we changed over and over again for our self-interest, from our curiosity, our wonder, our awe, trying to understand in pieces, bit by bit, how the whole worked. And bit by bit, we tinkered, analyzed, took it apart, examining the little pieces that make up the whole, and we separated pieces from the whole, the what was, took it all apart, reassembled like toys, the tightly knit weave of life that was, the pieces missing, changed, never to be put back together as the all and everything that was. We let in the light to see better, understand, not understanding the many dark recesses meant to remain in shadow, hidden, to not be revealed, but as the deep source, the protected well of origin that we muddied with the heavy, deliberate intent of knowledge that we lay claim to as if God we were not. And we altered that only could be known, only could remain and thrive as entity, as whole, and the it is. This as torn asunder, nature altered, altered nature, and that is now altering us. Under the pressure of love, we span the cosmos. Under the moonlit sky, we traverse the night sky, dark or moonlit, the sky, evening star above to light the way. Our body, the blanket of clouds, protective, watching, and on earth, down into the earth, the pylons of us, feet planted, the splayed stance, our strength, the back strong and upright, holding forth, holding up, rooted and strong, we support that which coming up from the depth of earth, all that travels across us, we hold up, all that walks, each that walks this path, each foot to fall where it may, crossing through these veils, the networks of sheer light as it travels, the threads of energy as they pulsate and hum, the nets below to catch whoever or whatever falls, the threads, webs of energy through these veils, who the mist shrouds, the mist in the pockets, the valleys of ancient realms, and across this reach, that which spans each crevice, each furrow, the gaping gulf of what lies below, we, the collective of those, us, the bridge spanning the distances, traversing difference, calling to, awaiting all travelers, you, to cross us, which are awaiting you to travel across this bridge, our backs. So that's all.
This is why I love when we share. CP, you just captured exactly how I feel when Leslie recites. He wrote, I feel like I'm sitting on an elementary reading time carpet, cross-legged in a kindergarten classroom, and Leslie Constable is leading story time for us. Oh man, you just took me back to PS 268. It's so true. It's so true though.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm just saying, get along, man. Just all peace and love. Let's just all get along, you know.
I know. I mean, I know what we all wish and desire, but like I said, we have to accept the other part, not the other part. We have to accept our humanity. And the fact that we all think differently, not always going to get along. It's like we're struggling with that. It seems even more so today because this idea of perfection. You know. But anyway, brilliant reading as always. Brilliant reading as always. So, we're approaching 3 hours, and I said I wanted to ask you guys. So I'm kind of asking, but I'm not. I do want to get the other two that showed up for CP today. So I'm going to ask you each to just read one piece, and then we will end with Eddie. I purposely want to end with Eddie because to Leslie's point, and it's not that it's a reflection of anyone. I'm just looking for ways, especially today, a number of people have mentioned healing. We really need to take that seriously and get back to healing and remembering that, you know, whether you're Republican or Democrat or whoever, at the end of the day, you're all Americans and you're human. It's the same thing here in Canada. It's no different. It's just that you're bigger. But we're going through the same nonsense here in Canada as well. And you know, this demonization of each other, we need to stop it. So I would like to end with Eddie. So I'm going to ask, excuse me, Carrie first, if you could share a poem with me, and then with not me, with us. And then Henry, you can also do one piece. So.
Hi. Okay. So this is
No.
about the wax.
Oh, Carrie Cox.
Did you say Carrie or Terry?
I said Carrie. I didn't.
I'm sorry.
Well, wait. No, I'll let you do one. Then Carrie can go.
I'm sorry. My hard of hearing, I guess.
There's no well. Right now, I got a frog in my throat. It could have sounded like Carrie. I really don't care. You know what? We're approaching 3 hours. We start 15 minutes today, so we're right at 3 hours. We're going to go to 3.5, which is fine. Do your one. Go.
Thanks. Okay, this is about the moon because, you know, why not? Do we ever get tired of the moon or writing about it? Perhaps my feeble mind will continue to marvel at how this celestial body is floating, suspended in its place above us. Earth owns this cheese crater face. Last night it glowed eerily at me in its grayish, misty, subliminal space, straight out of the black and white horror movie. My phone and I tried it, but failed to capture its grace. Ancient humankind worshipped its power over the ebb and flows of our tides. This dysfunctional relationship casting doubts in our minds, we stand at the crossroads with Hecate, refusing to move. She, goddess of life and death, should lose her patience with us. You're holding up the line, just choose. I am fixated on her glowing white eyes, illuminating mine, paralyzed with fear. She draws close to whisper in my ear, saying, do not forget that you are made of the stardust of the heavens.
Nice reminder. Was it for this last full moon we had, this piece, or is this an older piece, Terry?
This is for the full moon that we had last, which was the beaver moon.
Yes. So you and I are looking the exact same moon, and look what you wrote. This is why I love this life, man. I had no idea. But you and I might have been looking at the moon at the exact same time, and then it inspired this piece. Well done. Well done.
Thank
you. All right. You're welcome. And don't apologize. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really not that serious that I'm sneaking 2 other poets on to a show with other poets. No disrespect of anyone's time, but I think us poets don't have a problem when we sneak other poets in. So cutting in line. All right, I'm going to shut up. Carrie, good to have you here. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for making time for me. This is kind of on topic of what you're talking about, you know, the healing that we need. This is my newest poem. I wrote it on election night when I was still feeling very hopeful. It's called Flying Lotus Mudra, which is a yoga practice intended to promote joy, compassion, and an open heart. And I titled it that because Kamala also means lotus. And so this was my hopeful poem on election night. Flying Lotus Mudra. Give me hands the wind can hear, a time for drawing near, the words we want, we need to hear, the time to relinquish fear, time to dismiss the hatred of heathened helplessness, warring factions free to wage something better, a wing-like dream where people fly out of horrors into something as sweet as heaven, soft as birds of a feather, something as holy as children laughing without a man-made reason to run, without a bomb-scared summer to teach unspeakable lessons of who gets to live and who gets to watch and who is left holding the gun, who pays the price and who reaps the cost, who's the bad guy and who's the bad cop, whose heart gets to beat and whose gets to stop. Tongue-tied, the mimics tell us our woes, the emperors leering without any clothes. Every new day brings another new dose of the very same poison those Romans chose. And if it's too late and the sea levels win, the animals drown and the acid rain swims amidst plastic islands of disposable things, carved into territories by firestorms and thunder, we can't really save our whys for the wonder. I need a spacious sky to speak, to read the books that some might ban. This land is your land, we learn to sing. This land is my land. I thought of my reservations, living in squares smaller than quilt blocks, and how that's how you think thoughts, the ones you cannot sever, from mother to forever. I'm wondering what plans for the plains were before the railroads came. I want a feel-good ending to wake us up wild again, just enough to feel with our hearts and our tongues, to sense heat and hunger and do something good with the air in our lungs. Like we search for missing, like we bandage our wounds, like we bury our dead. Why deny that to anyone? My well has run dry, piggy banks and couch cushion overturned for pennies that cost more than a penny to make, invested in Bitcoin, tried to eat off accolades earned, bared my back to the spit shine, barefoot worn through from the howl to the spine. I'm waiting for the wind to whisper, something might change if you yell it louder, because a whisper is only meant for the tame. This world is long and tall and wide and meant for miracles in the darkest void, a verdant promise of the magic invention of molecular courage spliced with electric intervention, chemistry piled into pillars of dust and starshine circling, not so unlike a thinking thing, not so unlike hands, yours and mine reaching out for something reaching back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie. Thank you. Well, healing is definitely needed in the land, in the world right now. I don't know. Maybe we can get back to a place where we can agree to disagree and still remember that you're looking into divine eyes as well. And maybe that's a first world problem we have because life is so damn good. We have nothing else to do but fight each other over frivolous nonsense. When I say frivolous nonsense, it's not that politics is frivolous. The frivolous is how we attack and the things that we put such importance to, not realizing that it's other human beings you're talking with. And freedom is messy. We like things to be nicely tied in a bow. That's not life. Freedom is messy. And then will you fight for the freedom of someone that you disagree with? Because if you only want to fight for those that you agree with, then you're not really free. Then again, what the heck do I know? Good poem.
Thank you.
Take the lessons of healing from it because it's so needed. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Henry, please share with us.
So this is a work in progress, and it's in two parts, and it's untitled, but you could call it Blues for the Zeitgeist. Staring into a solemn void through latitudes of awareness and longitudes of sacrifice. Distant voices call, treading the threads of time, patterns of days, months, years, encapsulated in a single moment, a circle in the round, in the blink of an eye. The moon dancing a pas de deux with the sun to the music of silence, accompanying a chamber orchestra of white clouds, and I am swimming in a dream. The light of day dimming in my still point, connected to this moment. Within the construct of time, the philosopher's stone, a jewel of awakening. How much do I know? How much am I willing to let go? Am I the question, you the answer? Thank you.
I don't know, Henry. That piece sounded like it's finished, my friend. Brilliant work. It's been a while since I've heard your poetry. It's really good to hear it again. Brilliant work. Thank you. I'm glad I could sneak you in, and Terry and Carrie. And Eddie, I appreciate your patience. In baseball, there's 9 batters that come to the plate, and the 9th man, everyone knows, the last batter. But I heard an announcer once go, the 9th batter is actually the first leadoff for the next inning. So, Eddie, you're not just cleanup, you're not just a setup, but I purposely wanted to end the show with you today because of your enthusiasm. And like I said, with what's going on in the world today, we need a blast of enthusiasm as much as we can get it. So I just would love if you can take us home with your brilliance, my friend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our wonderful host that deserves the most. I'm sorry, our lovely host that deserves a toast that we love the most. Thank you so much. But first, CB Mays, a magnificent array of worldly hurricanes from a master writer. You breathe into every word in your poems. You're the lover, preacher, healer, and fighter. Thank you very much for being deep, aware, and wholesome. Thank you for being the igniter in every body, soul, and fiber. Thank you so much for gracing us in this poetic sanctum. Thank you, my brother. All right, my name is Ed Potasso, feeling fantastic. Please, in time, you can join my rhyme file. Sublime. I got one short piece and another piece, so I won't take too much time with my rhymes. Thank you for being so sublime. This is called Give Me Poetry. Give me poetry or give me death. Resist the tormentors in your open mic centers. Use your early daggers to attack the attackers. The dream isn't over. Embrace the exposure. Understand stupidity is king. To let them clip your wings. I'll embrace the revolution to change this shallow institution. Poetry needs to be spoken, not to be banned or cost a token. If words aren't free, then what is? Don't be mute in the dark abyss. Please fight, write, or speak. Even the tiniest mouse has to squeak. Thank you. And this other one is called What is a Sinner? What is, oh, sorry. Can't put that right. What is a sinner? Sorry about that. Karen's acting wacky. What is a sinner? A person who did something wrong. I know it's not a game of ping pong. Here's something. Pain can make you strong. What is a sinner? Someone who doesn't believe in God? Do you think it's kind of strange or odd? Only one person with a holy rod, another holier than thou, Rasad. What is a sinner? Or must it be perfect? Or must it be a habit? Aaron gets hurt or sick. Please do not neglect this subject. What is a sinner? A person who can't be forgiven. Where the heck is this written? Why are we setting condition for this decision? What is a sinner? A person covered in white? Come on, is that really life? Life is full of delight and spite. Please fail and learn with all your might. What is a sinner? It's not to be bound by logic or common sense. From past events, God killed the deviants. Do you feel the legacy this represents? How can we reach the true transcendence of our innocence? What is a sinner? I used to think it was scary. Dad getting sleep barely. I felt disgusted and heavy. I felt everything but Mary. What is a sinner? Trust me, I met so many hypocrites. They're practicing some self-deluded skit. I'm not falling for their deceitful shit in the pits. How can something like this exist? What is a sinner? A person who casts away their humanity again and again. I'm talking about physically or emotionally hurting their family and friends. Yes, sins can float and transcend. Please don't let the sin begin but reach an end. What is a sinner? Why are you asking me? I decree that I'm not trusty. Hey, don't flee as a flea. Stop thinking, just breathe and be. What is a sinner? What's for dinner? Will this make me skinnier? Yeah, don't let questions linger. Yes, you are a sinner. Your consciousness won't get thinner. Yes, I'm pointing the finger. Yes, face the big human stinger. Let it shimmer. But please, please, please stop being the warden and the prisoner. Thank you.
Mission accomplished. I chose well. Eddie. Damn, dude, that was good. That was good. If words aren't free, then what is? Did we just lose him? Oh, wow.
No, he's there.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He's there.
You just moved from my peripheral. See, I was stuck in the corner here. You jumped up here. But I love that line. If words aren't free, then what is? Well done, Eddie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. I was going to recite, but I'm not going to. I'm glad that Terry, Carrie, and Henry were able to recite. I'm grateful for you for sticking it out. I know you go to other shows that are long, but I love when we can come together and spend 2-3 hours, 3.5 hours, and just listen and be here for each other. Because it's not just the 5 minutes, it's us coming together. And hopefully we'll remember it's easy to love when things are going well. It's easy to love when you're in the sweet spot, when you're hitting it just right. But it's not easy to love when you're not in the mood, but you still say yes because you value the person that you're with. It's not easy to love when that person still angers you, but you still love them because they're yours. It's easy to love when you're getting along with your neighbor, but it's not easy when the walls go up. We keep forgetting love is when shit hits the fan, that's when we truly love. It's when we don't agree with someone, can you still love them? Can you still like them? Or maybe not like them, but still love them. Can you see the divine in their eyes? Because it's the same divine that's in your eyes. We keep acting like somehow because we different in ideology, that somehow we're different. Because we're different in pigmentation, that somehow we're different in our humanity. I'm going to challenge you poets. The Tragically Hip was a great rock band from Canada. Kingston, Ontario. And Gordy had a song, Don't Tell Me What the Poets Are Doing. He challenged the poets. Stop being one-sided and find a balance and look and truly tell stories. I don't have to agree with you to love you. I see the divine in all eyes, not some. We need to stop this nonsense. Someone mentioned a poem talking about the Roman, and colonization. Man, we come from a line of colonization. I don't know what would have happened. I do know what happened, and I refuse to fear the past. I refuse to fear it. This is what we keep doing. We're fearing the past. Like somehow we can unbake the cake. The cake is baked. And everything that has happened has brought us to this point. Everything that happened in my life, sexual abuse, all the physical, emotional abuse, has brought me to this point. I would not change a damn thing because I love this man, just like I love this humanity, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful of it. I remind you to remember that because I see the divine in all eyes. CP, my brother, you keep doing your thing. You keep doing you. And whoever the hell that professor was, go find him and say, thank you for giving me the fuel to show you how it's to be done. You do it brilliantly.
Thank you.
Today was just such a joy, my brother. I feel like I've gotten to know you at a different level. I have such a great appreciation. I had appreciation for you to begin with. Because you're like my brother, you put on a uniform and you served. To this day, my brother, as much as he still loves flying, he still has problems listening to choppers because he flew Blackhawks. I get it. I get it. But keep pushing. I'm glad you keep making a choice to be here. And ladies and gentlemen, to his point, reach out to a veteran, both here in Canada and the US. Or in Germany, wherever you are, anyone willing to put on a uniform should be honored by us because they're willing to stand on that wall while we sleep safely at night. So I love you, my brother, not just for your service, not just for your poetry, for the human that you are. And to, excuse me, to Alexandria, to Miss Angie, Artemis, Richard H., Neil, Maddie, Jennifer, Dale, Marianne, Kate, Principe, Mona, Lantern, Richard S., General, Brian, Leslie, Terry, Carrie, Henry, and Eddie. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being part of the Not Ready for Primetime Poets in support of Mr. C.P. Mays. Check out his shows if you haven't already, the second and fourth Sunday of every month called Bottoms Up, and whatever else he's doing. Whatever else he's doing, support it. And all the other poets, and David's show, and Marissa. There's a great amount of shows that you guys go to. Keep supporting it. I'm going to challenge you poets. Don't tell me the nonsense you're doing. Be better than we were last year. Stop this one-sided nonsense. We are better than this. Yeah. Why? We are poets. That should mean something.
New tattoo. That's my new tattoo. I'm going to get a tattoo. That's my new tattoo. Wifey's not going to like that.
She might like it.
She might like it.
But I love you all. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. CP, man, you do not disappoint at all. You do not disappoint. Keep being amazing. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. To quote a famous poet called Guinevere when she said, now that this show is over, now you get to go enjoy your Sunday.
Hey. Y'all rock. Y'all rock. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. You got up early. And came out. So thank you so much.
We rock where you roll.
Well, it's the poets that make these shows. I mean, yeah, we need each other. It's a yin and yang, because I could create all the events I want. If you guys don't show up, there's no show. So we need each other. It's not who is better. Is it the organizers, the poets? Man, we need each other.
We need each other.
We
Yes,
need each other.
Listeners.
Yes. And the listener, yes, and the listeners. Thank you, and the listeners. Martin, he's still here. Martin was featured earlier this year, so I'm glad. I know Sundays are busy but I'm glad when people could come back and just to listen to the feature. And next month, for December, we get to end the year with a bang. We have Bianca. I don't know if you guys know her.
Oh,
another powerful voice. I'm looking forward to hosting her. So if any of you want to resell, let me know. But thank you so much. I am blessed. I am truly a blessed man. I am truly. My old poetry show wants to fly me back to Kelowna. It's 15 years that the open mic that I started 15 years ago is still going strong. They've turned it into a nonprofit. They're doing amazing work. It's not just promoting literacy. We were one of the first vehicles was truly inclusive. Truly inclusive. Many early transgenders came to my show. I didn't give a crap. I don't care. You're human. Walk through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love poetry. I love poets. This is why I'm speaking to you this way. Be better. I love you all. I love you all. Now go be amazing.
Oh, love y'all. Mean it. See you soon.
See you soon.
Peace.
Have a great day and stay potastic. Woo!
People with glasses rock. People with glasses rock. We're coming back in style. We're coming back in style. I promise you.
All right. I'm out. I'm closing it off. Bye.
Yeah, I'll take it easy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Love to everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.